Stop making us think we have fans, you dicks.
Alright, I've officially pushed the start streaming button. So...
Yeah, we're live.
Are we live on Twitch? Ah! It's genuinely quite fun. Let's have a look. Ooh. Ooh, we are. We're live on Twitch. Alright, I'm going to ignore this forever. Alright. I'm just going to ignore the thing. If anyone sees that the Twitch stream goes down or we have loads of comments, please let me know, because then I don't have to keep clicking on loads of different windows. But yes, excitement, adventure, really wild things. Hello, everybody. Is everyone here? Present, correct, and sort of, yes.
Yeah, why not?
Making coffee in the chair.
There's a very distant pug.
In the coffee dimension.
He's coming back from the abyss with his coffee. Just bear with, it'll be worth it. Someone watching TV.
Oh, it's my girlfriend in the background, possibly.
That's okay. It's not very loud. I just heard someone say something along the lines of "Beware the dog," and I was going, "Huh? How did they know?"
Oh, yeah, that's...
Tell us to turn off the TV and sit in absolute silence for the next 4 hours, goddammit. Just so inconsiderate.
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What even is this? So, what we have here is, we have Blunders Bothwellians, the Wounded Witch edition. This is the Sunday party, and you're on episode 9. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Woo! You made it. You made it, guys. Well done. This is, like, amazing. All your dreams are coming true. Oh, my God. So.
We're still alive.
Most of you.
Ish. I only died once.
Yeah, him died once, just the one time. God, start reminding him about it, everyone. God, right?
Who even is Varric? I mean, I don't even know who that is.
So,
You got another wounded buffalo in there with you, Gina.
We're all friends here.
It's the dying screams of Varric in her background. He's haunting her now.
What'd you say?
With a baguette.
he used to love food. She says as she sits there stuffing her face.
Just there talking to Orissa. Who was that friend of yours again? What was his name? Barrick? Or Garrick? I forget.
Baldrick!
Go with Derek.
Orissa says you. And
I got eaten by tentacles a few months back. You remember?
I
remember everything. So,
You remember Barrick? Yeah, I remember.
So welcome to our stream, all you millions and millions of fans that we no doubtedly have. We are, I don't know if you know this, we are one of the few groups of people. Now this might sound controversial, guys, so bear with us, right? There's this game called Dungeons and Dragons. Now you might not have heard of it.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck even is Dungeons and Dragons? Now,
What's a dungeon?
what's a dragon? So like,
what's a dragon?
It's this game where you can play it with your imagination, you can play it with a board, you can play it with people, you can, I guess, play it on your own. And literally, like, no one else on the internet is doing
That's just the epitome of sad, isn't it? Playing D&D on your own. That's when you know your life has just gone a very bad place.
How do you think
like,
I
it's
the campaign?
guys, it's running around the table and like playing all roles at the same time.
I still stand by what I said, Rosa.
How do you think I planned the campaign? So, we
Are
are...
you sure that angering the DM in the introduction is a good idea?
Yeah. Don't interrupt my narrative flow, bruh. I'm so gangsta. I'm so glad there's not a camera on me right now.
Oh, sorry, dude.
I'm in my friggin' Pinkie Pie pajamas right now. Like, this is not gangster at all. In case you couldn't tell on the internet, I'm white and ginger. I am not gangster. Anyway, So we are one of the only, and we're certainly the. I don't think any. There's no, definitely no famous groups out there playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like I can't think of any. No, nobody. Excellent, good. No, moving on.
Not off the top of my head.
No, definitely not. No. And certainly not being heavily influenced by these non-existent D&D groups at all. We came from...
Moving onward from your nerd crush, please, Rosie.
We met at a LARP event and we are all ridiculously interested in roleplay and Harry Potter and crazy nerdy shit. So here we are, playing Dungeons and Dragons. We are 9 episodes into the Sunday party campaign in the world of Mercer. It's called Blunders Bothwellians, which is a play on Dungeons and Dragons, which is also the name of the wizarding school where we all met, and yada 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 yada. So, who can remember what happened last time?
We were in a tower.
I got a pet rock.
We're all selling it right now, guys.
I've got
This thing is just like say something your D&D character has done in first person in like regular life. So I'm going to say this now. I used wind to project myself over a wall and then got stuck.
Oh dear. So, yeah, last time a lot of things happened. Ariel, the pixie, got a magic floating pet rock, which was actually a massive gemstone. You guys fought and made your way out of the Tower of Tests, feeling much stronger as a team and more bonded, and yeah! And Pug agrees from the abyss of coffee. 48 years. You got some piles of gemstones, you managed to escape the tower. Somehow, you have let Arissa drive the cart again. No one's entirely sure how that wound up happening.
Not a choice.
And so, currently, you guys are in the country of Travise, which has been destroyed by the war 5 years ago against evil, and you're slowly making your way towards the capital, Rog, which, as far as you know, is destroyed, but may contain interesting items and things that all of you are interested in, etc, etc, etc. So, currently, Cass is riding on a horse, and Arissa is driving the wagon, with the rest of you in it. Errol the pixie is fluttering along, holding a rope which is attached to his pet rock named Sylvester. Sylvester de Stone.
I'm sorry, guys.
That is... Welcome to the first note I'm writing for episode 9. Sylvester de Stone needs fan art. I've underlined the needing fan art twice. So, Cass is on her way, but she's going to be a little bit late, so for the sake of story so far, Cass is riding a little bit behind you on her horse, sort of keeping a safe distance from, I apologise, Arissa's driving.
My driving is perfectly fine.
Depends on who you ask.
Nobody's
I'm happily riding shotgun here.
Yeah. And you can fly, so if the whole thing falls over, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's specifically why I'm able to happily ride shotgun there.
However, Puggywug, are you back with your coffee from the abyss yet?
Almost.
How long does it take to get coffee from the abyss? Like, really?
Well, he's waiting for the boss.
You...
For the abyss bus. The bus.
Oh my god, yes. See, what our millions of fans
I am so done with you people.
Dear millions of fans who are listening to this, Pug is obviously in the States, which is why he's having to shout. You can hear him. He's all the way over there. He's all the way over there. In the yeah, there he is, all the way over there.
You can't see, but we're pointing.
Yeah, one day, one day we will put the video on and we'll all be dressed up as our characters, and I will have a box with wigs and hats and scarves and hoods and fake moustaches, and it'll be amazing. But until then, we're going to do vocals, because it's a vocal exercise and we're LARP players, so we like to be overdramatic. I think we can all agree. So, what happened at the very, 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 very end of last session, which some of you may have forgotten about, was that as you set off again, a dark, hairy figure bounded out of the shadows and jumped towards Puggywug and said, yes, please donate so that the DM can dress up as everybody. I've got an angry demon costume I need to make. So Puggywug had a big hairy dude jump out at him and say something along the lines of, "Nice moustache, bruh. Nothing personal," and then attacked him.
And then what did him, sorry?
Attacked him.
He gave me a big hug with his claws.
Playing tag with his teeth.
Yep.
Exactly. So, are you back with your coffee and prepared to enter the fray, Puggywug?
Yeah, I'm back from the coffee dimension. I'm good, guys.
As far as I remember, you guys had camped for the night, Arissa had driven, and you guys were awoken to the sound of this scuffle going on.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
What's up, Bug?
My dice.
So we all noticed Pug being attacked by this furry beast.
Well, you have been awoken by this voice, which shouted to Pug, "Nice moustache, bro, nothing personal."
Go for the shiny sword!
Is that what you're shouting to the attacker, or...?
No, to the Pug.
Oh, okay. So, Puggywug, are you present and correct?
Do you think
You will never see his like again.
I think the Abyss Coffee may have attacked him.
Uh-oh.
Roll initiative!
Make an evasion roll! Evade! Evade!
Evade the coffee!
I left my dice in my car. I think I'm gonna fast.
Alright.
That is some stellar preparation right there.
So,
14.
what the hell are you rolling?
I think he just said roll initiative.
Well, in all fairness, Puggywug,
I've not been told yet to roll initiative. Well, now we know Pug's initiative is 14.
excellent. Excellent. Well, in all
Does he
fairness,
get a
Puggywug,
bonus for like his early move?
Alright, so
I'm
Puggywug,
super initialized, guys.
this dude has rocked up to you. He is got matted hair and big claws on his hands, and he essentially said to you, "Nice moustache, bro, nothing personal." And he's now leaping in for an attack. So in all fairness, your initiative roll doesn't really count because he surprised you. However, he also rolled higher than you, so never mind. So, and I'm going to test out something new. Are you ready? Are you?
He's so
You're
ready.
gonna touch one.
Okay. So, Puggywug, you are going to get attacked by werewolf claws. He has rolled a... Oh, nat 20. That one hits. And
Oh, yeah, okay.
a 16. Does the second one hit you?
60, yes, the second one hits me.
Alright, so both claws swipe at you, and they're going to do you a total of 6 points of slashing damage.
Total 6? Okay.
Total of 6 at the moment.
Alright.
Alright. He sort of jumps back onto his back legs and stands in front of you, sort of. And he is looking at you, snarling. You can take your attack go now if you like.
Alright, I don't got time to draw my sword. I'm gonna go out and make my fists blazing. I'm gonna swing. The first one. First one's gonna be 15.
Alright, that one, he's gonna duck underneath that one. And it sort of like swipes over his head.
Alright, the second one, I'm gonna go in. Second one's gonna be 21.
Okay, nice, that one hits.
Alright, that's gonna be... Okay, 7 damage.
7 damage, alrighty. Alright, awesome. Alright. Is that the total of your go?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, he is going to jump and he is going to try to pin you, so he's going to make a grapple. Oh! 19.
19. Alright, so that's a strength contest,
Yeah,
right?
make a strength, please.
You got me. I rolled 15.
Alright, he has leaped on top of you and pushed you over, and I believe Arissa now has popcorn, and he is now, like, crouched, so his back legs are, like, pinning your legs, and he's got, like, one of his claws holding your arm, and he's got, like, another one that is pinning down your other arm, and he's going to lift it back, and he's about to strike you again, but you can take another... You can do something now if you want, or you can take another strength to try and get out the way.
Can I attack him while I'm being grappled?
You can try, yep.
Alright, let me try to do that. The first one's gonna miss. I rolled a 3.
Aww.
Oh, they're both gonna miss. Rolled an 8 that time, too.
Alright, cool. So he's pinned you too much, and you're sort of like stuck on the floor underneath his full body weight. You also notice, because his hood has flown back in the fight, that he, amidst the matted hair around his face and chin and all around along his arms, he has quite a long, thick moustache as well. It's quite impressive. Fairly long, a bit twirly around the edges.
Really?
Yes, you guys can join in the fight if you would like. What would you like to do? Belgarth, would you like to shoot magic missile?
You know what? I would like to shoot magic missile.
Is that your cantrip or is that a spell?
That is a spell.
Alright, and can you roll me a d20 for your effectiveness and add either your wisdom or your charisma, whichever you use to cast?
It's charisma.
Sweet! And add your charisma.
Okay, I got a 19.
Okay. Alright, so, are you going to hit him anywhere in particular, or are you just going to fire it in general?
Okay, well, I'm just looking at magic missile, so I shoot 3... Basically, just want to clarify something quickly first. Okay, so it says that it does 3 times d4 plus 1 of damage. So basically just wondering, should I just roll 1 d4 and then there's 3 of that one, or do you want me to roll 3 d4s, 1 for each hit?
Normally I'd say roll 3 separately, and then add the 1 afterwards, because that means
that's fine.
It's a bit more fair, because you could have a 1, a 2, and a 3. You could have a... rather than having 3 3s.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so I will, so should I just roll for the damage then?
Yep, you can roll for the damage. You definitely hit. Is there anywhere specific you want to aim, or are you just going to blast him?
Well, there's 3 darts, so I guess I'll do 1 to the head and 2 to the torso.
Alrighty, cool.
Okay, so the headshot was a 3.
Okay.
and then the other 2 were another 3 and a 4.
Alrighty then. Okay, so from behind the big hairy werewolf pug, you hear a and the werewolf as some magic missile blasts him in the side of the head, and then you feel his weight leave you as he rocks back onto his back legs and sort of crouches at your feet. You're still lying on the floor, Pug, but the werewolf is now like crouched at the bottom of your feet going and he's looking around to see who's attacked him. Ariel, what did you want to do?
Something?
Yeah?
I said thanks, but I didn't need the help.
Alright, sure.
I told you to help.
Ariel, what would you like to do?
Oh yeah, you looked like you were doing so well on yourself there.
I'll pull out my scimitars.
Alright. By the way, would you like to tell everyone, all our millions of fans, what your scimitars are called?
Fair. I'll pull out Song and Dance, my scimitars.
Yes.
I'll fly up as high as I can, and then basically just, with my scimitars in front of me, dive bomb onto the enemy.
Alright, you're gonna fly and dive bomb. Alright. Can you please roll me a... Dive bomb. I'm gonna say dex, not just dex, I'm gonna say... acrobatics, because it is more dexterity, I think. Roll me an acrobatics to do the fairy flipping.
Okay, that's an 18 total for fairy flipping.
Nice! We're officially calling it fairy flipping now, I hope you realise. Alright. Sweet, so you can now dive down, and I'm assuming it's onto the werewolf, not onto Pug.
Yeah, the werewolf.
Alright, roll me your attacks with your scimitars then, please.
Okay, so that's... Wait, so that's 2d6 because 1d6 per scimitar, right?
Yes. This is what I seem to have in my notes here.
And then because I have 2 weapon fighting, I can add my dexterity boost to both, right?
Yes.
That's max damage, which means 12
Nice.
plus 6, 18.
18 damage. Ooh, nice. Is that total for both of them, yes?
Yeah, that's total for 2 scimitars into his, like, neck, head area. Whatever I can hit, basically.
Neck head area, love it.
Well, it's 2 scimitars, they can hit quite a bit of range as far as range goes for a 20 centimeter tall little pixie.
Awesome sauce. Alright, and where are you gonna stab him? Whereabouts?
Native the neck if possible.
Awesome, alright. The werewolf howls, "Ow!" as he feels 2 very sharp, quite small but nonetheless very sharp, jabs into the side of his neck. And he swipes at you, and you manage to dart just out of the way, pulling your scimitars out of his neck. And he's now like, he's not pissing blood, but he's bleeding quite a bit from his neck, and he's like swiping, looking around, sort of.
Oh, he's bleeding now?
He's bleeding, but he's not bleeding out. He's just got blood caught up in like his fur.
Bloodied?
He's bloodied, yes. And you can tell because he is not wearing a shirt, he's just got like his like furry, hairy chest out on show.
Nice.
Cool. What's the order of attacking here? Because we never actually rolled initiative.
So far I've got you as Fang, then Pug, then Belgrath, then Errol, because that's the order you guys jumped in.
Fair enough.
So right now, is everyone on push to talk?
I am.
I don't think I am. No.
Yes.
Except for the DM, everybody has echo, according to viewers.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say, if it's the recording software, I can't do a great deal about the echo. I tried last time, and it made everything go high and squeaky.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that happened.
I mean, I'm not officially on push to talk, but I tend to leave the mic quiet anyway.
Is Pug echoing simply because he's in his like kitchen kind of thing? Because I ain't gonna get him to move.
I can't really move my whole setup. It's kind of my living room.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I love the name Poof the Magic Dragon, by the way. Whoever this is, you're like my new favourite person. Okay. So.
Okay, can we do anything about the echo then?
I think everybody who's not on push to talk could switch to that, but I'm not sure how much that would do.
I don't even know how to like use the push to talk. It doesn't tell me what key I need to push.
Oh, you can select a key when you click on the push to talk.
Yeah, you just turn the key.
Alright.
So now you push a key and then you view the desktop.
It makes a cute noise when I press it.
Yay!
Yes, it does. Well done.
This is one of the many ways in which Alyssa is similar to me. The chances are I'm probably going to forget that I've got it on push to talk, so I might try talking. That's going to be fun.
That's okay.
Well,
I'll
then
ask you a
don't
question and
say
go
so,
silent, or I'll remind you.
Apparently push to talk didn't help much.
Must be Rosie's fault then.
Hey, it says everyone's but me. Well, to be fair, from
Yeah,
my
it's
end,
being recorded on your computer.
well, from my end, you guys aren't very echoey, so no,
Well, I'm not getting any echo at all.
no, not mine.
Me neither.
Neither am I.
The only one that's kind of echoey for me is Sarissa, but it's not that bad.
No,
Excuse you.
I'm sure it'll be.
I don't know, I'm super mad about it.
All right. So,
Maybe because I've got like a professional microphone. I don't know.
yeah, we'll all upgrade someday, and it'll be magical and amazing, and we'll all have, you know.
Once we get that Patreon support going.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be amazing. Oh God, what do I do then? Okay, so there we go. That's better. Now I can see both. There we go.
7 viewers.
7. Holy shit, that's more than we've ever had before. So, back on the basics. So, Fang is pierced as fuck, and he's going to take an attack because we're just going to carry on. Fuck it. Alright, he's going to... Well, the last person to attack him... Well, he hasn't actually managed to swipe the fairy in the air yet, so he's going to take a swipe at you, Ariel. And he is going to... Oh, a nat 20 and a 13.
Uh-oh.
Does the 13 hit you, Ariel?
No, that's...
Okay, so his first swipe sort of goes, and you manage to sort of dodge out of the way in the air, but his second swipe comes from the other side, from the other way, from his other hand, and it's going to take you by surprise, and he's going to clip one of your wings. And can you make me a dexterity check, please? Dexterity save, rather.
Dex save, you said, right?
Yeah, yes.
Nat 20.
Oh, nice! One nat 20 for another. Alright, so he clips one of your wings, and just as you're about to, like, think, oh, shit, and go tumbling through the air, you manage to catch yourself on a very brief gust of wind, and you sort of right yourself enough to sort of flap your wing out. It's a bit like when you get a little bit of cramp in your shoulder, you manage to sort of flap your wing a bit and get rid of it for now. And you're stable, you're in the air, you're okay. You're about 5 feet above his head now, though, out of claw range. So Fang is now going to turn round to you, Pug, and sort of and he's now at you. And it's your go, Pug, so go crazy.
Awesome. I'm going to shout, "Oh, you're fighting me!" and drop into my belligerent bruiser stance, right? And then I'm going to punch him. I'm going to do my regular punches.
Okay.
You're living in a world of punches!
Man. First one is going to be 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Second one's going to be 22.
That hits.
And then I'm going to expend a Moxie point.
Alright.
So the moral of the story is he has to do a Constitution save and beat
Alright.
Con save and beat 6, 8, 9, 10. Beat 13 or be blinded.
Ooh!
So I'm going right at his face, essentially.
Alright, he does not win that on a... Well, he rolled a 7, so he's not over 13. Alright, so is he blinded in both eyes or just the one?
Both eyes, but so every turn he does a con save, and if he succeeds, he's not blinded anymore.
Alright, sweet, okay.
And he's gonna take 2, 3, 4. Let me do some math real fast.
Alright.
2, 6, 7. He's gonna take 10 damage.
10 damage, sweet.
Yeah. From my 2 punches.
Alright.
And that was 1 Moxie point.
Alright.
And that is my...
Okay, cool. Alright, that be Pog's go. The wolf is now, like, holding onto his face and sort of, like, rubbing at his eyes. Sort of, and it is now Belgarath, you'll go. Anyone else can jump in if you like, or by all means carry on eating the popcorn, that's just as good.
Well, this wolf thing looks good, but I tell you what he'll look better like, is if he's on fire. So I'm going to be putting him on fire now, right now.
Oh, could you taste my popcorn as well? I like it crunchy.
Sure, if you throw it on the wolf man, I'm sure that'll touch the popcorn fine. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Firebolt cantrip.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I just roll for damage on that one, yeah?
Cantrip, then yes.
Okay. I was thinking about using a sorcery point to try and blow that up, but you know what? I'm happy with that. It's 8.
Okay, 8 points of damage. Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna...
And is his hair flammable?
I was just about to check that. Hang on. I'm gonna go, you've singed around his face, but one of his arms is now caught on fire. Like, and halfway down his chest.
Excellent! Everything is better when it's on fire!
Could you say that in Belgarath's voice?
Of course, I apologise. Excellent! Everything's better when it's on fire!
Excellent! Also taking a pause here to shout out the love for Poof the Magic Dragon, hell of a name, hell yes, Nightshade024, you're awesome! And either Ice Else Baby or Ice Else Baby or Baby we love you, you're awesome, you can have some love, that's all cool. We give you love, we give free love! So good on this channel, we give the free love. Oh god, don't go spreading that around. Man, or we might get more people watching.
I was going to say, maybe you just want to calm down and shouting that about.
Tell everyone that we give free love. Then we'll get loads of people watching us. Oh, and Lang805. Can't forget the Lang. Everyone loves the Lang. De-lang-a-lang. Stop me. Someone stop me.
Stop.
Thank you,
now.
players. Players, please control me. Alright, so, yes, you have a blinded and partly on fire werewolf before you, which is... just sounds so normal for you guys. Belgarath, so Errol, it's now your go. After Errol's turn, anyone else who wants to jump in can. Otherwise, well, I believe Arissa is holding on to the rock and just watching and throwing shade, so that's all cool. Kess, I'm going to assume, is just stood there going, ugh, squish things, you're ridiculous. Still sat on her horse, like no, because you just woke up. She's like, no, fuck it, she's got on her horse. She's like, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
That sounds just like her.
Is now throwing popcorn, of course. Alright, so Errol, what do you want to do, bro?
Errol! Hello?
Yes, I forgot I wasn't pushed to talk.
Pixie! What you want to do?
Yeah, you have to keep pressing the button.
Well, I'm 5 feet above it, right?
Just about, yeah, you're out of claw grabbing reach. You can fly down to him, though.
Same tactic as before. I'll dive down onto his head.
Love it. In which case, once again, do me an acrobatics check. Because I just love the idea of a pixie checking his acrobatics in the air.
This time I rolled a 16 to...
Alright, yeah, 16 will do. What are you going to do when you get down?
Stab it in the neck again.
Alright.
Oh no, can I go for an eye?
Yeah. I mean, he's already blinded, which you can tell, but because he's been punched in the face. But if you want to go to stab an eye, you can go to like destroy his sight entirely. However, because you're so small, I'm going to say you can only go for one eye at a time, but you can stab both your blades into one eye if you want.
I'll do that.
Alright, cool. Alright. In which case, roll your attacks, bruh.
The damage, right? Or...
Roll your attack.
Alright, the attack first.
Yeah, man. Think about 3 damage. I'm not that nice to you. Don't everyone jump in to defend me. It's fine. It's all good.
So...
I just set him on fire. What more do you want from me?
Yeah, I know, right? You are so the Sunday group.
Better popcorn.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just
I need to remember to do Belgrath's voice. I'm slipping away from doing the accent more. I need to cut that out.
I do find it hilarious that you're doing the offensive fake Irish accent in front of a genuine person from Dublin.
It's okay, I like it.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
it.
22 and 23. I'm going Irish myself now. 22 and 23. Yes.
What part of Ireland are you supposed to be from?
I have no idea. All of Ireland and some of Wales, apparently. So, yes, Errol, 22 and 23.
No, very much not.
Both hit. Roll me a damage. Damn, he's gonna be pissed.
12.
12 total, yes? Alright.
Yes.
Which eye are you going for, left or right?
Which one is furthest away from the fire?
I'm gonna say...
There is no place that's far away from the fire. It's everywhere.
From where Balgarath was, I'm gonna say his left arm is on fire, so it would be his right eye that would be furthest away.
Or I'll go for the one closest to the fire for now.
Alright, you're a brave ass pixie. Okay.
Just wait until my next turn. It can always be more on fire.
Everything can always be more on fire. Okay, put that in the fucking quotes out of context. Alright. Errol, you stab, you have both your blades, summon dance, by the way, everybody, aren't they amazing? And squelch. They both find a home inside his left eye, yes, close to the fire. You can always be more on fire. And with a horrible sort of noise, you now have a eyeball stuck on both of your blades, pulled out of its socket with like dribbling tendrils of like red shit on the back of it. It's going to take you a little while to actually prise your blades out of this eyeball, but you have it as like some sort of trophy. I mean, it's as big as your head, if not bigger. Arissa stops eating her popcorn.
Can we please have a piece of popcorn and then his eye socket?
Arissa, roll me a dexterity check.
Alright.
Also, Errol is not the kind of guy to keep trophies, so he'll just like throw it at the werewolf.
Ew. You rip his eye out and then throw it at him?
Yes.
Okay, well, Arissa has thrown popcorn. She's tried to throw popcorn to land in the eyeball. Sadly, it misses. And Ariel, can you roll me a acrobatics check, please? Yeah, Arissa, try again. That's fine. 22. Okay, Ariel, you feel a massive piece of popcorn smack you on the back of the head, and as you shake the eye off your blades and throw it, and it like bounces off the werewolf's stomach, and actually it catches on fire, and you hear this sort of bubbling sort of noise as this horrible eyeball just starts to disintegrate and fall on the floor. You wobble a little bit, but manage to gain your balance in the air, flushed with the pride of victory, and Arissa, with your 19, your second piece of char-grilled popcorn finds a home in the wounded and now empty eye socket of the werewolf.
Beautiful.
Yep. That's a word for it, isn't it? That's a word for it. So, would anyone else like to jump in on this, or are we back up to Pug?
It's back to me again?
Alright, Pug, you'll go.
The werewolf didn't get to go?
No, not right. Well, actually, he's going to try and stop being blinded in his other eye, but he's not going to go at the moment.
Okay.
Nope, he got a 12 total, so he needed 13, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's still blinded in one eye, he's distracted, he's holding on to his other eye, sort of going, ah! Ah! Ah!
Let me... Okay. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to punch him once. Punch him once. Okay, so that's... 12. 12 versus AC.
12 versus AC. Ooh.
That's not gonna do it.
Nope. Sorry.
Okay.
Did your
so bonus action. What?
Say again, Pug?
Punch didn't hit, but my bonus action, I'm going to attempt to grapple him.
Okay.
Alright, that's probably gonna work. It is 21.
21. Okay, yeah, you have the werewolf grappled, because even if I made him a strength check right now, he'd still lose because of all the negatives he'd be taking to this.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, are you gonna grapple him upright, or are you gonna pin him to the floor?
I'm gonna grab him upright.
Do you have any idea how much I'm trying not to say how do you want to do this? I'm like, so, tell me your plans. There you go, that's a better way of doing it. So, what's your plan? What's your plan for this?
Well, I wanna use this other ability I have, but I don't think it's gonna... The point is, I'm gonna grab him, and then, like, next turn, I'm gonna attempt to knock him out.
Okay. So, you wanna...
So I don't know if you'll let me do that now, or just wait till everyone goes again, but I'll probably be dead by then.
Well, how do you want to hold on to him for, like, sake of argument right now? Where do you want him positioned?
I'm gonna have one arm around his neck, and then one arm, like, around his arm so he can't get out of it, and just, like, keep squeezing his neck with my other arm.
Okay.
Just remember that one of his arms is on fire.
Alright, I'll take it. Take that damage.
Alright, then you were gonna take
Tank it like a baller.
You're gonna take 5 damage, Pug.
How much damage?
Pug, how many hit points do you have left?
I have 39 health left.
Oh, in which case I don't feel so bad about telling you take 9 fire damage.
No, alright then. That's a lot, but okay.
Sorry. I rolled high, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was kind of hoping I'd roll higher for the werewolf attacking you, but never fucking mind.
So yeah, the werewolf, so is he gonna go to sleep now or later?
Oh no. He is not going to sleep yet. He is in your grapple. You've got one arm around him, but you're sort of gonna have to struggle with him for a bit, because although he can't see you, he now knows exactly where you are. So he's gonna grapple with you for a bit.
Oh, they're hugging!
Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's wrestling, it's not gay at all.
You know how I know you're gay? The way you hold each other ever so gently.
Just for every millions of people watching and people in the chat, as of last week and the week before, Arissa has been shipping Pug with pretty much everyone. It was Pug and Belgarath because they were in a similar position hugging, and yeah, just Pug and everyone forever. Pugarath is canon.
So
Pugarath is canon.
So that's where Belgrade set the werewolf on fire.
Ah. If anyone who's watching in chat
Yep.
would like to...
And you know who's going to do it?
Would anyone in chat like to suggest names for this ship of Pug and the werewolf? Because you would be totally welcome. Go crazy, that would be quite entertaining for us.
I will pick the one I find funniest, and we're going to shout out.
Arissa shall pick the
Shout
funniest.
Shout out to Proof the Magic Dragon for shipping Pugarath.
Yep. Hashtag Pugarath.
Yes!
If anyone wants to draw fan art for us as well, that'd be amazing. Okay, so, Belgarath, yeah, you get an attack on the werewolf now, because he is currently grappled, and the flaming arm is pinned behind his back. Pug is taking some fire damage, and he's got one arm around his neck, and you can tell he still can't see. One eye is gone entirely, and the other eye is sort of streaming and, like, blinking and stuff.
Okay, well, you know what goes really well with fire? Popcorn, marshmallows, and even more fire!
Alright.
I like the way you think.
Are you doing cantrip?
So yeah,
or are you
I'm going to
doing
be
a spell?
casting another firebolt, I think.
Alright, that's cantrip, isn't it? So you don't need to roll for that. Okay, so,
Yes.
where are you going to aim on the werewolf, I will ask you? Or
Well,
Pug?
I think I'm going to go for... Sorry?
Or on Pug. I mean, you could aim at Pug if you really want.
No, you know what, I think I'm going to stick with the wolf, and I'm going to try and avoid Pug as much as I can. So, if he's got his arm around his neck and arm, I guess sort of around the torso area.
Okay, cool.
I'm holding still for you.
Just a quick shout out to Poof here. Yes, we will be working on a description of each of our characters, probably on the Facebook page, I think.
Yes. Also, while you're doing this, I will
That's an
upload...
amazing suggestion.
I've got your pictures, somewhere, that you all sent me of the people you made. So, for example, Belgarath is being... Now. Here you go. This is Belgarath from, I believe it's the Hero Forge you made this on. So if anyone wants to upload the Hero Forge mini pictures, then you can do, and we'll do character descriptions as well, because some people's backstories are a bit complicated. Oh, just FYI, what I would like to do, guys, now that we're not just recording and posting, is what we could do is at the beginning of every session, we'll take it in turns, and you can introduce your character like when I recorded it before. So you can have a chance to maybe rewrite it now you've had to think about it. And so at the beginning, we'll mute everyone else, and you just have a minute and a half to just introduce your character and what they're like, and maybe you can put some pictures up on the chat, and then we'll start each session, so you can do it that way as well.
Yeah, sure.
I guess I actually have to do something this time.
Yeah, you don't get out of it just because you avoided it last time.
Damn.
I know, right? So,
Alright, I feel I've been very patient here, but I've had a firebolt bubbling here for about 5 minutes. Can I please just throw it at this bloody wolfman?
yes, you may.
Depends on if you're going to hit it. Also, don't aim at its eyes because that's where I am.
Yeah.
No, I'm aiming for the whole body. Okay, so here's the deal.
Also, Belgarath.
Rolled a...
Belgarath.
What, sorry?
Could you please,
Yeah, so-
very quickly just roll me a charisma check?
What? Roll me what?
Charisma. You can still do your spell.
The charisma save.
No, just the check. You can still do your spell, it's just for DM reference. Alright, carry on.
Wait, so did you want my actual charisma, or did you want me to roll it?
Roll it.
Okay, cool. So, anyway, back to the spell. I rolled a 5, however, I am going to use the Font of Magic and expend a sorcery point to use Meta Magic and empower my spell.
Bloody hell. Alright.
So essentially, I get to re-roll the dice up to my charisma modifier. So I just get to re-roll it to a time to a point where I'm happy with it.
Okay. Alright, bro, we'll just sit and wait. That's all cool.
Yeah, well, I re-rolled it and now it's a 9, so I'm going to stick with the 9.
Alright. And this being 9 points of damage, yes?
That is correct, yes.
Awesome. Damn, you're going to town in this werewolf. Okay, so...
9 points of burning damage.
Flaming hands! Okay. So, you hit the werewolf square in the chest, and it burns bright, and it almost makes... It's like a mini explosion against his chest, a sort of kapow! And all the chest hair, like the werewolf, like shaggy hair all down his bare chest, ignites, and some of it joins with the flames on his left arm, going round his shoulder. And Pug, they catch around to you, and you take another 3 points of fire damage.
Dude, you gotta be careful with your fireballs, man.
And
Who said that? Who said that?
his chest starts to smolder and burn. And you can actually you can start to smell sort of like burning actual flesh, like some of it's got down to his actual skin underneath. And it's sort of starting to burn and singe away. And you can see some scars and some cuts along it where the hair is completely disappeared now. And he sort of makes a horrible sort of noise of sort of... And he can't even quite howl right now. It's like in his chest cut, and the flames are like catching up his throat. And Ariel, can you please roll a... do acrobatics again. Do an acrobatics check for me.
1 second, just responding to chat.
Okay. What are the chats saying?
Awesome.
What are the chats saying?
They said that Poof is getting used to the echo, so that's good.
Good. Okay, well that's alright
I'm
then.
happy Poof gets to enjoy it.
It's because we're so important that we say everything twice.
Are you dumb?
Maybe.
It might go that through the echo as well.
Sorry! Hey, I don't have echo, I'm the DM. Apparently I don't have echo because I'm amazing.
I rolled a 19 plus 2, so 22 on my acrobatics, on my flipping fairies.
Ooh, nice. Okay, Errol, you have to now move away from the werewolf, but you have managed to avoid the flames, which are now licking up, because they're going up around his throat and catching onto the hair of his chin, and oh Christ, if they singe his moustache, he's going to be pissed. But then now it's getting hot, the air is getting hot around you, so you darted out of the way so you could avoid catching any of the flames that were licking up towards you. And, okay, it hasn't burnt his moustache off yet. He'll be alright.
Damn it.
Yeah, he's not... No, man, you don't want him to rage about his moustache. Like, you do not want this.
We're very sensitive about our moustaches.
Fair.
Okay, so... Ariel, did you want to take another attack go? You are a little way away now, and you'll have to be very careful of the fire if you dive back in again.
Yes, Can I stay within 5 feet without endangering myself?
Yes. You'd have to go for more of his forehead and the top of his head. You could go near his eyes again. You just have to keep an eye on it.
Well, I cast Armor of Genova.
Ooh, he's dropping that
On
bomb.
both of them. On both of them.
Both of them.
They're both of them. What do you mean
Pug
both of
and the
them?
wolf.
Both of who?
Pug and the wolf.
Why?
Okay.
Filthy half elf.
Oh my god, harsh.
I'm not saying it. But there's an ID there. There's an ID there.
Okay.
Wait. So that's 7 points of radiant damage to both of them.
Alright,
Each turn that the spell
7 points of
occurs.
radiant damage to you.
So I don't do AC or anything?
Look, it's as long as you're within range of this attack
Fuck. Alright.
for each turn, up to 1 minute.
Okay.
But
So Pug's just on fire and taking damage. It's terrible.
I'm keeping it busy so you guys can kill it. Don't kill me.
well, this is a perfect moment for me to actually say something to Pug. So I'll try to persuade him that it isn't on purpose that I'm hitting him, but it's just this, like, alright, it's everything.
Alright, roll persuasion.
Perfect, that's what I hoped would happen.
1.
Well, actually, that's a 22.
Hey! Alright, Pug, you believe that he didn't intend to hit you, but you're still fucking pissed.
Yeah, I'm still pissed.
And it's now the werewolf's go, so he is going to attempt to break your grapple on him. He's gonna... I'll do the constitution in a bit. Oh, okay, he rolled, so... Okay, so, Pug, can you roll a strength check against a 22?
Ooh, that's not good. Like 15?
Oh, okay. He's going to break out of your grapple, but I'm going to say that while he was doing that, he's going to still be blinded. He's not going to be able to shake that off yet. So he's now crouching on the floor, and he's like trundled away from you a little bit, like on all fours, so like wiping sweat out of his eyes and trying furiously to blink this eye so he can see where everyone's gone. But he shoved you off, and you've sort of staggered backwards a bit. You haven't fallen over though. But you can now see him, and he's sort of hunched. And Pug, it's now your go.
Okay. I'm not gonna try to grab him again. I'm just gonna try to punch his face.
Just so all of our millions of fans are aware, this is Pug's go-to move.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch on me.
He's the one-punch man.
I wish. Look, that's gonna be, the first one is 15 versus AC.
15.
The second one. What's that?
15 will only just miss. Like.
Okay. So the second one's better.
Okay.
The second one is like 23.
Yeah, that hits. So the first one, you underestimate how much he was crouching on the floor, and you sort of go to give him a punch, and he's sort of like, he's like madly like shaking his head to try and see you. And the second one, you're gonna land a solid punch. Where are you aiming right now?
I'm gonna aim at his face. Like not the right angle to blind him again, but just just enough. Same thing. Alright, that's gonna be 5 damage.
5 damage. Sweet. Alright. Oh, shit. You didn't hear me say that. Alright. So, you managed to punch him. He has started to put out, he can feel, he's like smacking himself, putting out some of the fire.
Can I use bonus action?
You can, yep.
Alright, I'm gonna burn a Nazi point to hit him again.
8.
Make one more punch on him. And that's gonna miss. I rolled a 4.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you go to punch him again. He is gonna make a dive for your ankles. He's gonna miss because he can't quite tell where you are, but he sort of dives along the floor in the dirt. And you're gonna miss him entirely as he's now crouching there. Okay. He is going to take this opportunity. Pug, he's going to shout at you from the floor. Well, I say at you, in your general direction. And he is going to shout, I'm going to get ready to type this, actually. So he's going to shout at you and say, Dorlam Herbalax sends his regards, boy. I'm going to type that for everybody.
Yes, please do, because I have no idea what that was.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
These guys, I think he knows it.
Hashtag
I can take you, but take him too. Let's shout back at him.
You take me, he'll send more. You've got the whole hangman's joke looking for you, boy. That was,
I ain't afraid.
You frickin' should be. Okay, and he is now gonna jump to his feet. Belgarath, Ariel, anyone, you can have an attack now, should you wish.
Okay, I've got something in mind, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I was going to just put on more fire, but I'm thinking now that he's maybe a little bit tired of fire, so I'm going to do him a favour and put out that fire. So I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at him, because I think a bit of frost might put out some of that fire.
Alright. Cantrip or spell?
Cantrip.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
Give me a sec, just looking for my D8. Okay, I found it. Right, I am going to be re-rolling that with some meta magic, because no.
Okay.
Four it is.
4. Alright.
And it also reduces his speed.
Okay. And that was a 4, you say, yep?
I should have gone with the more fire. That was a rookie mistake. I apologise, everyone. It's all just, when in doubt, just more fire. I will remember that in future. I'm sorry.
Unless it's toast. Okay. Alright, so you shoot your Ray of Frost at him, and it sort of hits him in the back shoulder and puts out a tiny piece of the fire, and you can see like little icicles forming on loads of his fur, and it's making like a sort of almost like a hardened patch of skin, and it'll obviously hurt and be a little bit heavy, and it's like making him sort of like slump over on that shoulder, and he's sort of like just staying in one spot for now. Alright. Ariel?
While he's laying still, I want to cut off the moustache.
Oh, damn!
Shit, son!
Oh.
So I attack with both song and dance, aiming specifically for the moustache.
Alright.
Nice.
That's 2 15s. I add 5, so 20 and 20, both not natural.
Oh. Okay, you, with one quick movement of both arms, you send tufts of hair floating off on the wind, and the moustache is no more.
Can I try and catch one half to give it to Bo?
Sure you can. Make
I'll do
a dexterity.
Mustache extensions.
$14 total.
Okay, you managed to catch about 2/3 of one half of the moustaches, like long, sort of matted, brunette-y hair, like in a big clump.
Okay.
It's about as long as your arm.
I think the whole game has really long mustaches.
In which case,
Except for him now.
Yeah, and not anymore.
And with that natural 20 on my flaming dice, he's in a rage. So the werewolf is now going to... He's going to try and get rid of his blindness. And with a 17, he is no longer blinded in his one eye. And he now... He looks up at the pixie now flapping towards Pug with one half of his moustache. And he is going to enraged. And he is going to make a running leap at Pug. And he is rolled a 17 to run and like attack. Pug, what's your AC?
My AC.
Hit you.
Hold on. I have a thing where he attacks me. I get to duck out the way or something. Real fast. Counterpunch. Deflect and attack.
Sweet. Alright, give it a go.
Okay, so I'm going to, reduce the damage, reduce damage, D8 plus my strength modifier plus half my pugilist level. D8 is 1. Okay, it gets reduced by 11? Damage gets reduced by 11.
Alrighty, cool. In which case, I'll roll his damage. Okay, so he is making a charging attack at you, and he's just going to try and like body. He's not going to try and grapple you. He's just going to try and like body slam and do as much damage as he possibly can. So,
does he do any damage to that?
Yep, he is going to minus the 11. You are going to take 3 points of damage. He's sort of like, he's not blinded, but he is trying to see with one eye, and he sort of like blunders towards you, Pug. Ariel, you flutter to the side out of the way, and he's sort of gonna like, he charges into your waist, but you manage to sort of like punch him as he does it and sort of like swing the side of your arm, which sort of deflects a lot of his weight, but he still sort of cuffs you around the middle, and you get some like a good smack around the... You get a little bit winded from like one of his hands as he sort of goes to grab you. Alrighty, Pug, it is your go.
Alright, so with all the fire and the radiance, the claws and everything, I'm a little bit lower than bloodied. Just letting everyone know. Okay.
Maybe you want to pull back on this.
No, this guy is, he's mafia. I gotta kill this guy.
Fair enough.
I'm going to do my punches. I'm gonna attempt to, I guess I'll try to blind him again. Alright, first punch, that's gonna be 18, it's like 20, 22 or something like that.
Okay.
Second punch. Second punch, I rolled a 2, that's gonna miss. And I'm gonna spend my last moxie point to blind him.
Alright. So, is he blinded again now?
Well, he has to do the con save thing.
Oh, okay, right.
And be 13?
15!
Oh, fuck, okay.
Yes! Crossing off blinded. I literally wrote it down and then went, oh no, maybe not. Alright, so roll your damage for that punch that did hit.
He takes 6 damage from that.
Oh! Shit! Shit, son! A challenge for anyone who's still watching in chat. Think of a catchphrase we can say when someone does a critical hit and is going to kill someone. So instead of, how do you want to do this? You know, Johnny got a boom boom. Pick a thing. Give us something to say. What can we say when someone's about to? Pug hasn't, but he probably will soon. So we'll prepare that. Alright. He is going to look at you. Yes, we need a spell to let Sylvester talk. I think this has to happen. So he's gonna look at you through the blinding rage and the lack of moustache, Pug, and he's gonna say to you, "What'd you do it for? You pissed off the wrong people. They mad, bruh."
Didn't have I did it because it killed my family. I ain't taking that line down.
Oh, could have made a dirty joke, but I didn't. Who killed your family? How do you know that?
Because I ain't stupid, I know. Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on here.
You keep out of this, weird Irish fucker.
What's Irish?
Certainly not what you're doing.
Oh, I'm gonna beat you into an inch of your life, boy.
And he says to you, Pug, he says, I don't know what you think you found out, but I wouldn't take that for granted. What makes you think you're right, huh?
Because I saw his diary, I know what's done. That's all I need to know to get my revenge on him.
What revenge? You ran away like a fucking pissy boy.
Oh, snap, son.
My revenge on the fucker who killed my family. I could have had a decent life if it wasn't for him.
And what did you do that got your revenge on him, eh? Nothing, you ran away like a pissy boy.
I ain't done yet, I'm coming back to him.
Oh, I see. Scaredy boy ran away and now he says he's coming back. Well, funnily enough, I don't believe you. Actually,
Your ghost can tell me yourself. I'm gonna kick him in the head.
You're gonna kick him in the head? Okay, roll for... roll strength to kick him in the head, I think.
Alright. Oh, fucking jeez. 12. Yeah. The one time I need a crit.
Okay, you go to kick him in the head and he's sort of like, he like, laughing at you, sort of like rolls his head to one side and sort of like, starts to try and get up and like crouch again. And he's sort of like wiping bits of blood away from the corner of his mouth and he's sort of leering at you and he's saying like, so, you gonna come back? Don't look like you got much to offer to a fight though, does it? What have you got? You gonna come back? What you gonna do? You gonna fight him in the pits with your pitiful nothing?
I'm gonna come back and fight him prepared.
What could you possibly
You
be
go and tell him that.
Huh?
And you go and tell him that.
Tell him what? Pissy boy says he's prepared. Prepared with fucking what?
Prepared with everything that kicked your ass. And I'm gonna bring it back to him tenfold.
Aw, there's a kitty purring. Oh.
She never shuts up. Everyone in the chat say yay for Dobby.
Enthusiasm, it's great. That's what we need. Okay.
And we also appreciate the suggestion that Poof made, that Poof should be like the catchphrase.
Sure. So, critical hit. I like it. Like, pow, right in the kisser. Okay. Enchanted. Pug, he's going to say to you, he's gonna say to you, you got nothing. You're no one. He don't even fucking barely remember you. He's just pissed you stole his fucking money. You got nothing. What you gonna bring to this fight, huh? You want me to go warn him? Warn him of fucking what? You and your little fists of glory, ha!
I've had more than enough out of your fucking face. And I'm gonna go to like punch him again.
Alright,
Do my best. Punch him. 15.
How does my Armor of Genova go, by the way? Because that should have kept damaging him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you roll for the damage for that?
Yeah, 1d10 each time.
Cool. I'm going to say you can do one more because it's come back around again, so roll one more again now. And Pug, what do you got? 15. That's just under bang on. So he's going to like still be laughing at you, and you're going to go for a punch, and he's going to like take it to one side of his face, but he's going to like move his head, so you can't do him any damage, but he's going to like look at you and sort of pitiful.
Oh my god. Alright.
Okay, so
Can I shoot him out? I've been prepared to shoot him for a while now.
Ariel, can you choose who you do damage to, or because they're going to both have to take it? Is that 5 each then, or 10 each?
It would be 10 each, but I'd try to at least avoid Pug by flying away from Pug, so that he's out of the reach.
Okay, I will say. Alright, I'll say yeah, you can do that. So Pug, you're going to take 3 points of damage. And he's going to take 10. Woohoo! He's getting close. Alright.
Okay.
So, yes, Belgarath, you can stand prepared. I'm going to let Pug have one more go. And then I'm going to say that you'll be, in that moment, you'll be prepared to go. Just because they've been sort of grappling and stuff, so you couldn't quite get a good aim without hitting both of them. Unless you don't care, in which case, fire away.
No, I'm not going to shoot Pug.
Alright, let me try. I'm gonna do the 1-2 punch again. Or this time. Full on 1-2 punch. That's 17.
Okay. He can!
And the second one's a nat 20. Finally.
Okay, 17, yeah? Okay, yeah, that hits. You can punch.
Yeah. The first one was 17, the second one was nat 20.
Oh, alright, yeah, both those hit.
So the first one's gonna do 5 damage, the second one's gonna do 7.
Ooh, alright. Pug! I ask you this question. Are you aiming to kill or to knock out?
I'm gonna kill this fucker.
Alright.
He's been laughing at me now.
Poof! How'd you want to do it?
Oh, right with the uppercut. I'm gonna break his jaw.
Oh, dude! Alright.
He's not gonna be doing much more talking after this.
Alright, is that both punches to the upper jaw?
One across the left side, and then one, straight up his jaw.
Alright. Awesome. I really wanna make a oh man, this is so awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, with a great sort of noise, the jawbone disintegrates on either side, and then another one. I literally punched myself in the face. I was so excited then, Pug slams both his fists, one after the other, into the laughing face of the werewolf. Splitting open the jaw on one side and cracking it full in the face on the other, and still with a smile on his big face with all his glinting teeth, the werewolf's eyes go grey and cold, and he sort of slumps and lies there on the floor with still with a big smile and his tongue hanging out, but he died.
Thank fucking God.
Oh. Woo! Good fight! If I had pom-poms, I'd definitely be shaking them.
I feel like Arissa would have pom-poms, she'd have acquired them somewhere. Also, Balgarath, your cantrip goes off and you set the dead werewolf on fire.
Yeah, I was conjuring magic missile there, so that wasn't the cantrip.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to finish firing it?
No point now. He's dead.
Well, you could,
Make him explode!
That's not what magic missile does.
Then what?
It'd basically be like shooting a corpse at this point.
Do it.
It's how long? We haven't been sleeping. We haven't been sleeping the whole night, have we?
No, and I've only got one level 2 slot left. I'm not going to waste it on a corpse.
Well, so we're gonna finish sleeping up after this, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, do we know that? Knowing our DM, we may well be jumped by something horrible as we're walking to bed or something.
I don't know, we got a lovely werewolf campfire. I say we finish our long rest.
Roast some marshmallows around the fire.
Alright, fine. I will use my level 2 spell and blow the corpse of the werewolf into tiny little pieces.
Yay!
Arissa runs around carrying Sylvester the rock, and they dance around in the werewolf confetti. As it explodes, Pug, a scroll of parchment, flickers its way down through the air out of the werewolf's jacket, and it finds its way in front of you, and it reads,
Yes.
The note says, Fang, target Pug, reward 300 gold, hangman's joke, DH.
They're only gonna pay 300 gold. Wow, I stole more than that.
Wow, you were selling it, but you were being sold cheap there.
Yeah. I think I just kind of a lot, but still. We haven't been getting a lot of money this game. Okay.
Well, in all fairness,
throw it in the fire.
you're in the, evil, ravaged country that literally has nothing, so,
Yeah.
You got a blessed deity sword, bruh. You can sit the fuck down.
I'm gonna throw the note in the fire. We don't need anyone else getting any stupid ideas.
Alright, cool. So, with the werewolf making a beautiful ravishing fire for you, you will settle down and you catch up on the rest of your sleep. You awaken, hit points restored, spells restored, yada 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 yada.
Moxie restored.
Yep, Moxie restored. And
Nice.
I'm gonna start a new thing where I'm gonna chuck out XP. Nah, I'm gonna stick it at the end of the session. I'm just gonna chuck it on my notes.
I feel like that's enough to level up.
Maybe.
So.
Exciting.
Oh, exactly. How many are you guys on right now? Right this second. You should be.
Experience?
Yeah, your XP points.
I have 2,150 right now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
have
same with me.
Yeah, that's cool. Alright, bro. Alright, you should get more at the end of the session. So, you guys, you wake up, you're gonna press on your journey, still heading towards the capital of Rog, yeah?
Yes.
Alrighty. So, you wake up, you Arissa literally bounces into the driver's seat while you've all eaten some
I slept in the driver's seat.
Arissa slept in the driver's seat with Sylvester.
Oh god.
Oh, I would have slept there as well with Sylvester. Like, on top of Sylvester, basically.
Yeah, you can do that, that's fine. Okay. So, just gonna get my notes on this.
That's a lot of notes.
Yeah, I do have quite a few. So, you
Hashtag best DM.
Hashtag note-filled DM. So, yeah, you guys you've eaten, you're up, you're dressed, you're ready, you're all decent, or indecent, depending. So, Arissa driving. Arissa driving, Kess very deliberately behind you on her horse. Arissa, could you make me an animal handling for driving the wagon?
Okay, 1 sec. Not the best.
Ah.
We're going to die.
Doesn't help that I have a -1.
Okay, cool. Alright.
Why are we allowing her to drive?
Because no one argued.
Because I'm persistent.
Weren't we going to physically remove her from the driver's seat at some point?
I believe that was a plan.
It never happened though. Because really, you want to be in each other's arms while I drive.
Yeah, well, coincidentally, you're all sitting in the back, and Arissa uses the reins and gets the horses to start galloping. They rear back, and you guys set off at such a fast pace that Belgarath, you are flung back into the arms of Pug. Errol, you have to cling onto Sylvester to stop yourself being swept back on the wind. Enna, you catch yourself on the edge of the wagon, almost hanging off. Your nose is about 0.5 centimetre away from the wheel, and Kess is riding behind you, all sort of going, "Ugh, squishlings."
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Arissa is not sorry. Exactly. So, you're still heading in a fairly straight line towards Le Capital. Oh, that's a good point. I'll put up a picture. If I can find it. It's not in the Sunday group, though. It's in... player... Where's it gone? Where the PCs have gone. There it is. Upload. Okay, so... while Pug is being right back, this is the old one, so you guys have gone even further down than that. You guys are now...
weren't we going further, closer towards the log?
You are, but this is the second one. This is the... There we go. So you guys are now travelling back up. You can't see where I'm pointing because you're not on the chat, but where the last yellow dot is, you guys have now started heading back up towards the capital of Rogga, heading towards the big red circle, and it's in a fairly straight line to where you guys are now. So you're just heading that way. Okay. So as you are trundling along,
Can I stay on the lookout? Because, well, that seems like a good idea from up high.
Yeah, totally. In fact, you can roll me a perception check if you want right now.
Perception. I'm so glad that I'm actually, not good at that. That helps. 17.
Awesome. Okay, cool. You can see rolling hills, you can see some... In the distance, you can see some great sort of craters in the floor. You've seen them before. And he's just saying, hot tea is hot. Yes. Yes, I believe it is. Yes. And you can see more of them. They're getting bigger and bigger as well. And you sort of trundle past them every so often. And you can see... that they're very deep in the floor, and whenever you sort of drive past one of them, you can see far below is like what looks like flames and redness. Shocking.
That sounds friendly.
I have no idea what's going on. I was getting wine.
Everyone needs
Where are we going?
D&D.
Can we just take this moment to appreciate the fact that we have 7 viewers again?
Good number. Hello, viewers. Lucky number 7. Shout out to the Tuesday group.
Graduation day.
Shout out to Tuesday.
Woo!
Woohoo! I feel like we should be running some sort of competition for the chat, but never mind.
Save that for the next time.
Yeah, for the next time we have, more than 3.
When we hit double digits.
Pug,
Then we can
does that mean you're back? Is that what that means?
No, it means B.
Father's motherfucker.
It's Pug. It could also stand for beer. So,
Bitches.
Or coming from the abyss.
Okay. Arissa. Hello. Hello. Could you please make me a charisma check?
Of course, when I found a D20, it's next to my wine.
don't throw it in the wine.
Drink it with the wine. All the
Drink it, catch it in
wine.
your mouth.
We like wine.
I am not putting a D20 into my mouth.
That sounds safe.
Who knows
Okay.
what?
Arissa, while you're driving along, you start to daydream a little bit, and yeah, for some reason you feel a bit sad, like you're about to have a really sort of like sad recollection or something, but you sort of shake it away from your brain and sort of go, huh, and carry on driving.
Interesting.
I was so scared when you started going on about daydreaming. Because she would have been able to drive us into one of those hellholes.
Oh god, yeah.
It'll be okay. I promise.
Also, Belgarath,
Yo.
you are feeling a sort of undercurrent of bubbling anger at the moment. Like, you thought it was while you were fighting, and you thought it was just the general adrenaline of getting to set things on fire and, like, yeah, hate-filled, rah! But it hasn't gone away yet. It's still sort of sitting there in the pit of your stomach, like, bubbling away, sort of making you really, like, And
Okay.
it's just still, you're still sort of, like, you're more tetchy than you would normally be at the moment.
Okay. Interesting.
It's at the top of my driving.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it is literally just the driving.
Rude.
Alright, so, Arissa. Sorry to target you again now. Could you please roll me a perception check?
Okay. Natural 1.
Wow.
So if I add my modifier, that's a 0. Isn't that great?
Well, yeah. Alright, so, this happened. Okay, Arissa, you do not have time to brake or swerve, as out in front of the wagon from some clumps of bushes and trees and big rocks that are to either side of the, for all intents and purposes, path you're driving along. You're basically just aiming for, like, in between where rocky alcoves and, like, the big crevices in the floor. You're just trying to avoid those right now and head in a vaguely straight direction, the direction you've been heading in all this time. And out...
At least it's not a tower.
No, that's worse.
Great!
13 Goliaths.
I'm sorry, what?
13 Goliaths.
I'm sorry, what?
That's too many Goliaths.
They are 7 to 9 feet tall each.
Have you just crashed into them, or just kind of like crashed into their campsite or something?
Let's drive around.
They have stepped out of the shadows.
Am I a bowling ball? And I've scattered them.
No, because then there'd be 10 of them.
Boo! Too many Goliaths.
They pretty much stepped out, took you by surprise, and have made you swing the cart round and essentially collide into like this bunch of rocks and trees.
Ooh, also I can hear the cat again and it's wonderful.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry, I love it.
Purr.
So you said the Goliaths were 8 feet tall, right?
Between 7 and 9.
Here's a size comparison.
Really cool lightning move, so I really hope that I get the first shot on them.
Yeah, that is an accurate representation of how tall the pixie is in comparison to the Goliath. Thank you, for I have sneezed. Okay, there is 13 of them, and they are now encircling the wagon, which has not tipped over, but you have essentially slammed into a big load of dirt and earth and rocks, and you are all sort of, you're still in it because, yeah, it didn't roll too badly. You guys are still inside the wagon. Kess has sort of bumped into you with a horse behind you, but you guys are all sort of like thrown backwards a little bit, and you're looking up and you're now being encircled by this group of 13 massive, they're green, you can smell sort of dirt and a little bit of blood, and you can see like they've got very unclean teeth with like bits of what looks like flesh hanging in some of them, and they're all walking further towards you. You can see axes and clubs, you can see swords that are rusted, you can see jewels made of teeth and bone, and you can see some of them even got bones like through their noses and their ears as like piercings and stuff, and you can like hear them scattering, and they're all wandering towards you, encircling this overturned wagon.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so big. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't.
Oh, you are so big. We're really quite impressed, I can tell you.
Would you like to roll some sort of
No, that's just me making a joke there. That wasn't actually Belgrade's talking. That was just me making a Monty Python reference.
Okay, sure.
What about me? Am I rolling anything?
Arissa, you can roll a persuasion to persuade them not to hurt you if you like, from that apologising.
Shall I roll? $20, not natural.
20 natural. Okay. One of the closer ones to you, a very large male with a very, 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 very large axe strapped across his back, and sort of a green tint to his skin, and sort of big wide eyes, like stares down at you and sort of grunts a sort of like, huh. And then all of the... Alright. I'm reading my notes now. Okay. Alright, fuck it. Alright, so all of the Goliaths around you sort to look at each other, and they're about 5 feet away from you now, and all as one, they start to walk in unison, taking smaller steps and closing in on you. And they sort of stamp all together. They stamp right foot, they stamp left foot, they stamp right foot, they stamp left foot. They stand in together, and they all stare around at you. Hey, we have a Cass!
Yay!
Just in time for the party!
There's much celebration.
We have the person who's always angry at the squishlings! Yay! So for all our magnificent fans out there, this is Cass. She's the Dragonborn Edgelord, and a little bit angry.
That's a class.
Yeah. A little bit angry. Cass. So yeah, you've got the wagon has been slightly not quite overturned, but stopped, and you're all surrounded by 13 angry-looking Goliaths who have started stamping their feet in unison, and now that they're about 4 feet away, they're standing in a sort of ring round you, stamping their feet, and they start to, like, slap their hands together as well.
Is it just me, or is everyone who's surrounded?
Everyone.
No, just you.
And oh Christ, why do I write this crap in? Okay, so my own fault, random encounter. Alright, so the Goliaths start stamping their feet and slapping their hands together, and they start to do it in a rhythm, so they're going do and they all start to chant
What is happening right now?
and it's like a big angry war cry, and let me just double check for you.
It's just.
What the hell is going on with this Goliath? I'm also saying that's not zoned out.
I think they're about to rock us.
You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, swinging your cat all over the place.
Okay, does anybody speak giant?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
It doesn't sound suitable for me.
No. Okay, so nobody can understand what they're saying, but all you can gather is it sounds like a
doesn't
war
matter.
cry. It sounds rehearsed. It seems like it's, from what you've gathered, particularly your travels in Travise, this is a tribe, and this is their personal tribal war cry. They stamp their feet and they bash their fists together, and it's like a big beat, and they essentially say, it's to the beat of, well, essentially it's like, Urataka, urata, eya. Urasa, and they finish it.
Are they doing it?
Yes, they're essentially doing the haka. Only it's not in Maori because fuck, I can't speak Maori. And they do finish it off with a nice, all together, like pretending to slit their throats, looking at you guys. And but one thing you do notice actually when they're finished is they look around at you all as if to say, "Are you not impressed?" And they all sort of stand there like, yeah.
Are you not entertained?
Entertained!
Okay.
So, what would you like to do now, guys?
Okay.
I think we can have some
Can I take Sylvester and roll for stealth to try and fly away?
They should definitely roll performance to see how impressed Arissa is.
Alright.
Can I just like start clapping experimentally just to see if they're pleased by applause or something?
I love that gift.
Okay, Arissa collectively they rolled I guess the average is an 18 they rolled for their performance check.
Alright, she's very entertaining, definitely. You're all like Arissa, and she nods, and yes, you should all be impressed.
Yes, this does count as good art.
Can I use disguise self to look like a golem, even if it's not
A
convincing?
golem? But they are Goliaths, right?
Oh, then the Goliaths, that one. I'm not clear on what's happening.
That's okay. They're a bunch of seemingly angry, seemingly performance Goliaths.
We're under attack by a ballet show production, basically.
Okay.
Oh my god, Arissa, you have to show them, outperform them.
Okay, so do
Challenge accepted.
Oh my god,
we have to do a group performance? Because they might expect a group performance in return.
Alright guys, this is what we're gonna do. And then she does this really, really complicated like cheerleading routine, and you guys look at her like, what the fuck?
Okay, we can do that. It's fine.
Okay, so Arissa, roll me a performance check, and everyone else roll me a performance check for joining in.
Yes, helping. Totally.
Alright.
Oh, this could be spectacular.
Not helping.
I
Not
fucking
helping.
love my.
I'm sorry.
I have a feeling I'm going to be carrying the group.
Well,
See, we're
Yes.
coming up with one of the many ways
Yeah,
I
you
thought
might
you
have
could get
to.
out of this situation. Performing was not ironically one of them.
That's the thing about being DM. You get to amuse yourself with the strange things that your players do.
I gave up a long
I'm gonna
time
start
ago on trying
We're
to
doing pretty well. Arista is very pleased.
I'm going to start making like fire circles and.
Apart from you, Cass. Cass, you have no timing. You're completely out of sync with the group.
Oh my god,
Step
Arista
kick,
becomes
step
dance
kick,
mom.
body roll is not rocket science.
Cass, remember to smile.
Cass, don't smile. Your teeth are too toothy.
Cass is like, I will cut you.
I'm clearly
Sticking to the diet.
stealing the show here. It's fine. I'm sure they will like this performance the best.
Cass, you're holding the rest of us back. We'll never get to finals if you keep it up like this.
Yeah, you beat me to it, god damn it.
Arista just invented the Woken Glee Club.
I have complete abilities in myself. I'm doing fine here.
Fine by yours.
Oh, shots
Hi,
fired.
Singers. It's okay, it just means I'm not helping. That's just the usual group thing for this group.
It's fine. Okay, so we have Ariel, are you joining in or are you going to try and sneak away? I thought I'd double check that. Or are you going to join in as a performer?
I'm joining in. Do I roll anything to see if Sylvester joins in as well?
Of course, yes. Just roll again with your ability score because you'd essentially be moving him.
Wait, who is Sylvester? So I know.
He's my best
Would anyone like
friend.
to explain who Sylvester is?
That's it is to explain.
He's the most adorable gem that you've ever seen. He's the cutest Jammy Lamb.
I see.
He's
Can I
Ariel's
do
pet
anything?
rock.
But it's a rock, right? It's a jewel.
It's a
Right?
gem.
Yeah, okay. Can it do anything?
Well, I can move it around because Pixie Dust makes it float. So now I can pet it on.
He's dancing, you don't see it?
Okay.
I mean,
My eyes haven't adjusted yet. I was a little bit sleepy until now.
to be fair, the pet rock rolled a 19 compared to the Dragonborn rolling a 7.
The Dragonborn is doing fine, thank you very much. Okay, so how does our performance do?
Okay, so your performance. Well, Arissa, would you like to explain the performance you're going to attempt to teach them to do?
Personally, out of character, I don't know shit about cheerleading.
That's
It doesn't have to be cheerleading.
No, I just said it was a cheerleading routine that I did.
And we all.
Okay, link in a video.
I'm gonna have to find one.
Yeah.
We could do like a Bring It On routine from a movie.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, find something that has a dragon in it.
Cheerleading squad that features a dragon.
Hey, you could use a Chinese dragon.
Or a dragon
No,
mask.
no. It has to be dark, so you can't do it Chinese dragon.
Oh, I see. Cass likes it dark and gloomy, in case anyone listening had not worked
Yes.
it out yet.
Yay!
I don't know. This was the first one that came up when I searched cheerleading routine.
Here we go.
Why does mine not send as a GIF? I only sent the picture.
Basically, basically, there's a few lifts, there's a few jumps, there's a few throwing people in the air. Probably Ariel, because he can fly, so nothing will go wrong.
You could throw Tess in the air.
No, I don't think that's a good idea with her 7.
It could work, but then she might need some help with some pixie dust or something.
Okay, so
basically Ariel is there to make sure our flips go okay.
Great. You finish your routine. There is some stumbling. Arissa is both enthusiastic and frustrated, and sort of has her dance mom cap on, and is sort of going flapping people back into place halfway through and things. And eventually, with Arissa doing a triple backflip, landing in the splits with her loot out bang, at the end, and the rest of you sort of awkwardly putting your arms out, going hey. You reach the end of your improvised routine. I'm also going to point out that the Sunday group still needs a team name, and I encourage anything that sounds cheerleady. As you finish with a from Arissa, the Goliaths are watching you with narrowed eyes, and for a moment, a few of them sort of reach behind them as if to go and pull out their weapons, and then they sort of start clapping and going, hey! Yes! And yeah, they're all clapping and cheering at you. And then there's some more foot stomping. And they're like, hey! We like you, small ones!
You speak common?
Yes. You don't think we speak giant all the time, do you?
I don't know, but it's so good that you speak common, because guess what? I speak common. Isn't that so interesting that we both have that in common? Do you get it? Common? We have it in common? Oh my god, so much in common!
And like the big one who is sitting in front of you, Arissa, sort of scratches his head and sort of goes, I don't really get it, but I like your enthusiasm, little one.
Oh, thank you. I love my enthusiasm too.
And I love that you love your I love the enthusiasm that you
I love that you love my enthusiasm. That's so good.
My head hurts now.
You and me both, son.
So, where are you lot headed then? Anywhere nice?
Just to the capital. Nowhere interesting. Unless we count the capital as interesting, which some people might do. I don't know if you do. So it depends on your definition of interesting and whether or not Rogue counts as interesting. Do you count Rogue as interesting?
That was a lot of words very fast, little lady.
We're going to Rogue. Do you think that's interesting?
I do. Rogue is very interesting.
Then, yes, we are going somewhere interesting.
Excellent. And what are you looking for in the capital of Rogue? It is very interesting. We should know. We have been there. We can even escort you if you would like an escort of such astute performers as yourselves. We would quite happily offer you our congregation as a escort on your
that is so generous of you. We would love an escort. And I think we're just going to Rogue for some information. Maybe a bit of sightseeing. Can you tell us about Rogue itself? Is there anything interesting in that we can sightsee? Anything like that? Could you tell us, please?
What are you looking for in return for escorting us?
Your performance was payment enough. It is not very often that we get people
so much.
That is all right, little miss. You appreciated our performance. Not many people do. They tend to start screaming and attacking us and getting scared. We are.
Also, the friendly.
Yes, we are much kinder people.
If anyone sees a performance such as that, I don't understand why they would run away. Clearly, it is an invitation for another performance. Isn't that right, everybody?
Of course.
Than the usual stuff.
Thank you. That is most kind and happy of you. Cass saying she is kind would almost require deception. Good going, guys. Well done.
Can I fly up to the guy who said that he had been in Rogue?
Yes. This is the big beefy leader guy that Arissa is currently talking to.
Can I first try to get his attention in a way that doesn't hurt him or seem threatening or anything?
You can fly up in front of his face and wave if you like. Yeah, Cass,
I'll do
they
that.
believe you at the moment.
Hi!
You're very small, aren't you?
Yeah, slightly.
Hi, 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 hi.
I had a question. Have you seen anyone else my size around these parts in the capital, mate?
I can't say I have, but I can imagine you would be quite easy to miss. Any of you lads seen anything this small? And one of the other ones goes, I ate a field mouse the other day that was the same sort of size. Yeah, he ate a field mouse, is that what you're looking for? Sort of winged field mouse, that kind of thing. No, it didn't have any wings when I ate it, Sarge. Oh, it didn't have any wings when he ate it, so never mind.
I do kind of look for someone who, basically has wings like these and possibly flies in shiny things.
Oh, well, if it be shiny things that you be looking for, I would definitely say the capital would be the right place for you to be headed, because that is where most of the shiny things seem to have been found. I can't guarantee there'll be any shiny things left, but by all means, you can join the people who are hunting through the rubble to find them.
When you say shiny things, what exactly does it entail? Anything that actually shines, or anything that just shines in the light?
What does entail mean?
Consists of, sort of.
That word has a lot of letters in it.
Include?
I see. I've lost my train of thought.
Be part of?
Yes. Well, since the war, as you will be aware, there was a rather large war here. The capital got a bit destroyed, and obviously anyone who had anything of value had to leave it while the war was going on. And so for the last few years, people have been finding their way there to dig up said exciting items.
Okay, so it's valuables rather than shiny things, right?
Shiny does mean valuable.
It's an important distinction, just to clarify now.
I like things that are shiny, I like things that are valuable, I like things that are sharp and pointy, and big and heavy for hitting with.
Same
Yes. There's shiny like the sun, and then there is shiny as in valuable. So
I have heard tell that both can be found at the capital, but I personally have not been digging around to look, because I prefer my weapons non-magical, strictly bludgeoning only.
You guys aren't the kind of type to say catch things that look like me in jars, right? Just to check.
I don't tend to carry jars, they seem a little pointless. Do you want me to put you in a jar?
A group did. They put me in jars and, now I need to kill them.
I like this little guy.
that's a good mindset.
And they all sort of nod approvingly, like, yeah, I like this guy, he likes killing, killing's good, we like killing, killing is good. I approve, we like killing.
It's not so much, I do enjoy killing the enemies of Irtar, but it's more of like an eye for an eye thing. They killed me, I kill them. That's how that goes.
But you're alive. You're pretty alive.
That's a story for a different time.
So what he's gonna have to do is cut
I
it off.
only know one.
Guys! Oh my gosh, can you tell us around a campfire? That was so much fun.
Maybe eventually.
There are lots of people camping at the capital. If you want to get there, we could get there by nightfall, and then you could have a nice campfire and a story or two once you get there, if you would like.
I would very much like.
Alright, lads?
Yes, indeed. Go.
Let's get this wagon back on the road. Up to! And all the Goliaths sort of heave the wagon, now with none of you on it. They sort of heave it back into place. They kick one of the wheels back on. It sort of started to like tilt off to the side. They shove it all back together. They reattach the reins and the horse for you, and they sort of put it facing the direction you were heading originally. And they all sort of stand guard around it while you all file back onto it. Yep, the horses are okay.
That is good.
So,
I'm getting back into the seat.
Yeah, so anyone wants to remind me what happened this morning? I kind of forgot.
Oh, Cass, you bumping into the wagon gate in concussion? Don't worry, I'll tell you.
Sorry, what was that again?
We kind of had a minor kerfuffle with a werewolf from my past.
Nothing important.
Oh yeah, Pug, I had something for you.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? What's that?
And I hand him like whatever's left of the mustache. Here, I thought you might like this.
I'll put it in a little jar and say,
Jar?
I'll make sure to hang it in my trophy room when we get back, when I get back to town. Very kind of you, Pixie. There we go.
You're very welcome. I quite enjoyed taking that werewolf out, so I thought, might as well do something for you as well. So,
How kind of you.
as long as you do keep the jars away from me.
Oh yeah. Nothing big enough to put you in. I just carry boys only.
Dude,
Are we bonding?
yay!
to be fair, that does deserve to be noted down, I think.
He takes so many notes.
Yeah.
No, it's more of an I have a thing to keep track of who I like and who not, because I made mistakes with that before.
No more cursing at me in Sylvan for a little while.
Not yet. There's many reasons for Errol to start cussing people out in Sylvan.
Mostly because they don't understand.
That does help.
Alright, so you guys are going to push on back towards the capital, now flanked at a brisk jog by your Goliath performance companions. Is anyone unseating Arissa, or is she just driving again? No?
That driving seat.
Well, after the way she treated Sylvester, I will protect her driving seat.
Yes!
I'm going on my own horse.
Yeah, Cass has been on her own horse this entire time, safely and sensibly. Alright, so Arissa...
Is anyone going to assist me in dragging the bard out the driving seat?
I'm okay with her driving. I have no problem with it.
You're 3 against 1, Belgrath. Pug?
A little beef right now. It's too much.
Fine. The first chance I get, I'm going to set fire to her dress.
I'm not wearing a dress, so that's not a problem.
Fine, I'll set fire to your top then.
Do you know?
That's fine, I'll just be really hot anyway, so having the top get rid of would be fine.
Arissa, roll me an animal
Thank you,
handling
Ellen.
check, please.
Quick warning, if you set fire to your dress that's in your backpack, doesn't your backpack burn?
My makeup!
So, did you say that I have to roll you an animal handling one?
Yes, because I was prepared to the horses.
Okay.
18 for animal handling.
Awesome sauce. Alright. You guys, much to your surprise, Belgraph gripping onto the side of the wagon for dear life with eyes screwed shut tight, find yourself setting off at a gentle jog.
That can be good. Sometimes.
Pat.
And you maintain this steady pace all the way to the capital. You guys trundle along, and as you trundle on through the world of Travise, the land of Travise, you see more of these big dark cracks and crevices in the floor. You see remnants of campsites, some small buildings, very, very... Yes, you can take a nap if you like. And Cass, yep, your horse is fine, trotting along behind everybody. And you carefully avoid the Goliaths as well while you're trotting along. I'm going to jog along beside you, and they sort of keep you out of the way. If they see a big crater in the earth coming, they sort of wiggle you off to one side and then steer you back on. And you follow the path, and eventually on the horizon, as it starts to grow dark amongst the barren landscape that is Travise, you start to see tiny, tiny flickering lights up ahead. And you realise that you're coming towards some campsites. And I had a picture somewhere, but this one I'll have to do.
So Goliaths, what sort of campsite is that ahead of us?
Campsite? You mean the capital? That's the capital up there. That's Rogue. That's what's left of it.
I see.
Oh, we're there!
You are nearly there. It will be another half an hour's jogging to get to it entirely, but those little lights on the horizon, that is it. That is Rogue. Well done. You have reached your destination. Almost. Give it half an hour.
But these are not the ruins, right? The ruins are in a different place?
The ruins?
The ruins of Rogue, yes.
Well, the ruins are there up ahead, yes. Most of them are completely destroyed. And as you get towards it, night is starting to fall, but you can see, because there's a lot of... you can see as you trot up, and the horses slow, and eventually come to a halt. The thing? Sure, roll.
I'll PM. I'll send a private message.
Okay. Cass can see fine, yeah. You can see, as you tether the horses in the wagon, and you all leap down, and the Goliaths sort of walk in with you. There's a sea of tents and campfires and groups of people. You can hear people smelting weapons. You can hear people cooking and sewing. You can hear some people laughing and playing. You can hear what sounds like pickaxes hitting stone and rubble and digging. And you can see loads of makeshift beds and camps. There is lots of ruins of buildings, but they don't look very magnificent. This isn't like castles and proper buildings with doors, and this is more like makeshift houses and things. They're all fallen apart, and some of them are being used. Some of them have had sort of scraps of material laid across them, what's left of them, to make a sort of roof and make makeshift houses. But essentially you have reached one giant campsite, probably about the size of a small festival. And there's people split off into different groups, and they've all got torchlight and lamp lights. You can see there is a group of what looks like tiefling warlocks gathered around one fire, and they're casting spells and changing the colours of the fire. And you can see more Goliaths, and you can see in the distance one very small gnome, and she is laughing and playing the violin with a massive group of Goliaths, and they're all sort of laughing and joking and stuff. You can see dwarves, you can see some half-elves, you can see a lot of different races here, all gathered and camping out.
Can I look for a specific garage?
Did you send it to...
Yes.
Because I'm the DM, or did you send it to the other one?
Yeah, because I think I may have sent it to because I'm the DM.
Okay, send it to the other one, because otherwise I'll have to open it on the chat.
Oh yeah, fair.
I probably want to go off and talk to these warlocks. Why not?
Alright, give me 1 second to just check on my chat. Okay, yeah, have you already rolled perception for that?
Hold on now.
Okay.
So plus my perception scores. Plus 18.
Okay, you look around, you can't see at the moment. It is quite dark, and there's a lot of sort of people moving around in shapes and things, but you can't really see it at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. So, Kess is going to wander off towards the group of warlocks by the fire. What would everyone else like to do?
I'd like to look around to see if there's, the thing that I messaged you about.
Okay.
If I find that anywhere.
Alright, the little pixie has flown off to go and have a little look around. Anyone else? Arissa, Balgarath, Enna, Pug, etc. What would you like to do?
Are there any ruins? Like, there's no, like, real, like, ruin area, right? It's mostly tents and stuff.
There's tents and things. There are ruins. There's, like, very, very old buildings. Yeah, Ariel flies off with his hovering rock on a string and they float away into the distance. It's old, what looks like the old, very old ruins of... essentially, from what you know, Rog, the capital city, was never... It was never immaculate. It was a place where travellers and the people of Travise, they weren't really into having big, fancy buildings and things. It was more the common place where people came to trade, to meet people, to stay. It was one of the biggest congregations of people continuously staying in one place. There were several buildings, but nothing huge. They wouldn't have had rows of shops and roads and houses and things like that. It would have been more like a big gathering place, and the only things that would have been buildings were the people who were staying there permanently and maybe storage places and things. There are quite a lot of old sort of stone places and what looks like things that would have been buildings. Not as many as you'd expect from, say, a human populated city, however. But yeah, there are ruins, Pug, if you want to have a look through those.
Well, what was the dominant race in Travise?
There wasn't one, as far as you know. It was a clusterfuck of... All you know is there wasn't a lot of humans. It was like the outcast place. The elves and anyone magical tended to hang around Risha, and the humans very much...
It was for the elite people, of course.
It was for, like, the awesome people. So you'd have had...
Yeah, just for the best ones.
Anything, like roaming travellers, like, pretty much anything, essentially.
So who ruled it? Like, it wasn't like a...
You can roll me a history check to see if you would know that.
Alright, I'm gonna do history.
Or you could ask, you know. You're surrounded by people from there, of course.
Don't help him, he has to figure it out.
Stop
14 history.
Arissa is being a dance mom to the Goliath, just FYI. Okay, 14 for history. Okay, you remember hearing that there was, to all intents and purposes, a royal family, but they weren't treated like born into it royals. It was more, they were considered some of the more powerful people, and so they were allowed to take charge. You can't really remember names, though, but they would have been here. They would have been in the capital of Rog.
Okay. Let me go investigate the ruins.
Okay. I think we just wrote a side plot where Arissa spends 6 months helping the Goliaths become world famous cheerleading squads. Arissa leads the Glee Club.
She will just do like a traveling circus with them.
Exactly.
Like the one with the
I would not say no.
Everyone loves the routine, or else.
I mean, hey, you can become a traveling circus of people. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so Pug is going to look at the ruins. Arissa is training the Goliaths. Ariel and his pet rock are searching for something, and Kess has gone off to talk to the warlocks. Pug is gone off. Oh, sorry, I was starting from the bottom. Pug's already gone. So Enna, Belgarath, what are you up to?
I think I'm going to look through the room as well to see if I can find any pretty things.
Okay. And Belgarath, are you just going to stare lustfully after Pug as he walks away?
No, I'm going to go find somewhere comfy to have a nap.
Really? 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 You're going to have it? Okay, fine. Belgarath is
come on, people can choose.
Belgarath is going to have a nap. Okay, cool. You find...
Well, we didn't look like there's anywhere to buy like magic items or spells around here, so there's nothing really that I'm after around here by the look of it.
Well, you could wander around and ask people. There's a lot of people here, you know. Someone may have things that they're willing
No,
to...
that sounds like a lot of effort. I'm not in the mood.
Okay. Well, Belgarath, you follow Arissa and the Goliaths, and they show you to essentially their section of the campsite, and you actually get pointed to a very cushy looking, like, it's propped up. They've used quite thick logs to make you a sort of hammock, and it hangs off the floor, and it like almost wraps around you. It's pretty damn comfy. You can sort of sprawl out with your arms behind your head, like, hell yeah, this is pretty cool. You've basically got a hammock, Belgarath. You can put your arms behind your head and swing, and it's pretty cool. And you're in like the campsite of these Goliaths.
Sounds perfect.
Okay.
There's only a minor chance of being trampled in your sleep, but that's a risk you're willing to take, right?
He's off the floor. He'll be fine. Okay. So
they won't step in?
Ariel, you make a full circle. It's quite a large campsite. It takes you maybe half an hour to sort of sweep over the heads of everybody. You cannot see anything matching the description at all. You cannot see anyone who vaguely resembles anyone who would know. You can hang around and ask and talk to people, but you don't spot anyone right now. And then we were at Pug and Enna. Okay, can you each roll me investigation to head on through the ruins and have a look for stuffs?
Investigation.
15.
Nice.
18.
Okay, Pug, were you looking for anything in particular?
Whatever I came here looking for any and magic items. Let's start here before I try buying a bunch of shit.
Okay. Enna, can you... Actually, no, I'll do it. Enna, you find... Ooh. Okay. You find 3 quite rare gems that are worth 16 gold each.
Woo!
You have to dig quite a lot and look quite hard, but there's a lot of sort of rubble and things. Like there's been explosions here, there's been magic here. A lot of things have got covered up and stuff. You can tell that a lot of places have been covered over and like picked through by other people and stuff. So Errol, what do you want to follow up on?
Well, what was his name? That guy from my backstory. I wanna try and find the place where I last saw him.
Do you mean Beckett?
Because that wasn't Rog. Yeah, Beckett.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you can do another sweep and look for him if you want as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Emma, you have found those and picking through. Pug, you pick through, you find, well, you see Enna find some gems. They're fancy and everything, but they're not magical. They're not really of interest to you. You pick your way through and you find nothing of interest, but you do see that there is a group, well, a duo of... where are they? A duo of dwarves, so 2 dwarves. They are mining meticulously, and they're in a particular place just ahead of you. They're in between some of the other ruins, and they're sort of like mining. They've got proper pickaxes and things. They seem to have made quite a big hole, and they're extending it, making it bigger and bigger. But you don't find anything particularly magical at the moment. Ariel, you cannot see him from your scanning around. You can't see anyone who resembles him at the moment.
Also, no places that look familiar to, like, the last place where I saw him.
Despite it being dark, it does look quite familiar, but this place has been totaled. Where there used to be a few buildings and a lot of fancy campsites and big tents and walkways and things, it is now like desecrated. There is a giant crater that runs right, almost bang down the center of where essentially there used to be the middle of the city. And the earth has started to split in 2. You guys are currently on this side of it. You can see the Goliaths, they sort of hop over it, barely paying it any attention when they want to cross over and go over to the other side and things. Ariel, as you fly across it, you see it's a good 5 feet across, and it's far down, really far down, and there's like flames at the bottom. And it looks magical. It's like a magical rip, a big thing that's cracked open the ground, and it goes far down below you.
Damn it. That spoils the other plan that I had. Oh my word. Can I cast Detect Magic and try and, like, find stuff that might be worth anything?
Okay. You cast Detect Magic. How far does it go?
30 feet.
Okay.
And then I just zoom around, basically.
Okay. The crack in the floor sort of lights up for you like it was created by magic. As you fly past Pug, his sword illuminates. Several different people have different magical items on them dotted about the camp that you can see. You cannot see anything currently in the ruins as you're going past. You can see smatterings here and there of items people have got, but you can't see anything within 30 feet of you at the moment.
Okay.
What else? Okay, Cass, you walk up and you see a group.
I woke up. Okay, I heard wake up.
Oh, sorry, no, you can walk. Are you sneaking over them? Are you listening to them? Or are you literally going to walk up to the where you were going to the Tiefling Warlocks?
Yeah, I think I will try to be subtle. So yeah, let's try sneaking if it works. So that's 15, but not threatening sneaking, just sort of subtly walking behind them, sort of listening and not drawing attention to myself, sort of thing. And I change myself to look like a tiefling as well.
Okay. Yeah, with a 15, that is fine. You sort of walk behind them. A couple of them look up and sort of nod towards you, but not recognising you as one of their own group. They don't pay you a lot of heed. There's a lot of people wandering about, going between campsites and things. They don't raise any particular suspicion.
Yeah.
As you wander past, some of them are joking. One of them sort of blasts a spell and turns the campfire a rich green, and it blasts twice as high into the sky. One next to him sort of snorts, and then sends a jet and sends it bright blue, and they seem to be just doing it to pass the time and having fun. A couple of them are sort of lazing around, snoring, sleeping next to the fire. A couple of them are deep in conversation. As you walk past them, you hear one of them say, yeah, better look, might give people hope. And you hear the one reply to him and say, yeah, but Princess is missing. I mean, where? And as you keep going past, they carry on their discussion. And the others are talking, and one of them is sharpening a blade, another one is talking about what they want for dinner, that kind of thing.
Okay. I probably do want to talk to them then, and just find out about what's going on in the capital.
Okay.
Just tell them I recently arrived. Oh.
Alright, so...
I'm just interested in what's the situation in the capital.
Okay, so you wander up
just
and
get some information.
Okay. A couple of them look up. The two who are in conversation sort of look up towards you, nod, and then carry on their conversation. The ones who are blasting spells at the fire sort of motion for you to come and sit down, and then they carry on sort of their competition between themselves. The one carries on sharpening his blade, and the other two look up at you, and you sort of sit down in between them, and they're on sort of like makeshift stools made of bits of wood next to the fire, and they say, just arrived? Yeah, we've been here a few weeks. Not too bad. I'd recommend staying. Plenty of people, lots of people to talk to. Yeah, not too bad. What's your story?
My story. I'm just traveling around looking for some adventure, some interesting things happening. Is anything going on around here?
Well, after the war, nothing's very interesting anymore. I mean, nothing can be quite that exciting and crazy. Another one says to you, thinking of setting up a group, looking for the missing princess. That could be quite... We think it could stir morale, get everyone feeling good again. Get someone they all recognise and adore back on track. Think that could help. Oh, I don't think it'll do nothing, that, says the one who's sharpening his sword. New leaders, old leaders, nothing can save this damn country.
What is this missing princess like?
Oh, no one knows. Disappeared halfway through the war, no one's seen her for years, probably dead by now, or her father thinks she was dragged down to the underrealm with the rest of them.
And do you know their name?
The princess's name?
Yes.
Hello! In fact, I will type it for you.
Thank you for typing it for me. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll have to ask that.
That's okay. I'm just going to check how I spelled it because I think I changed it recently.
Okay, that's fine.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to spell it for you in a second because I've changed it and I don't want to give you the wrong one. However,
okay, that's fine.
All I've got right now is I turn to the page and it says double bopper. That's not right. There we go.
Wasn't the double bopper a thing from Christmas?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
I've got the old Christmas notes on my page. Here she is. She's on the other page next to it. Okay. That would be Princess Moliar. And there you go.
What is the race of this princess?
Oh, they're the Towels, and this is the This is the Tal family. They're the royals of Travise.
Oh, but is it a tiefling as well? Or?
No, in fact, Kess, you wouldn't have been so bothered by the royalty of Travise because they didn't exactly rule. They were just considered very powerful, and if anyone had a problem, they could come to them. They'd always wage war. But you would know a bit about this. But they say, no, to all intents and purposes, human. But demon blood. That's what made him so powerful, you see.
I see. They probably brought upon us the whole war as well, wouldn't they? Yeah, messing around, that sort of stuff.
Oh no. They were dead against it. The king. And they actually point at this point. They point to a group of people around a campfire on the other side of the crater, but you can see, and there's one guy, and he's got sort of a red tint to his skin, and they point and they say, that's the king. Noma Tal over there.
Oh, I see.
He hasn't got over it really, but swears blind it was nothing to do with them, and we're inclined to believe him. Family's been around for years. They helped set up this land. They helped make the capital. They practically helped us build Travise. I say us. We weren't, strictly speaking, alive back then, but you know, our ancestors were. Another one joins in and says, yeah, we're a very accumulating society here, you know. One hint of darkness within you doesn't a bad person make. And the crap that came out of the ground that day when the war started, that was worse than anyone with a bit of demon blood in them. And they all sort of fall a bit silent and sort of...
Were you here?
Oh, yeah.
Were you here when it happened?
Oh, yes.
So what did it look like?
Horrifying. The ground split open. The world around us went red and dark. It's never been sunny since. It's been 5 years since we've seen the sun. Terrible.
I think the
Creatures
weather is
came
much
out.
better like this.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the dark. We've always preferred... I mean, it's never really been a hot, sunny country. But there's something not quite right about it now. Just doesn't feel right. Like it's not quite over, you know? Like it's biding its time. And they all sort of look at the crack in the ground and sort of deliberately move and turn their backs to it a bit more now.
Yeah, I say thank you for the help and that. Can I talk to the King Rosie a little bit?
Sure. You will have to make it across the 5 to 6 foot crater in the ground to get over there.
Can I miss a step? Or is it difficult to jump?
It would be difficult because it's essentially a bottomless pit with fire at the bottom, so it's something you're going to want to do right because it's nearly as long as you are tall.
That's not bad. But will it be athletics or acrobatics?
I would say either. Whichever one you're best at this point.
Okay, so I will try acrobatics to jump over.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. Worst case scenario, I can always teleport. I might have to do that. Because that's an 8.
An 8.
Yes, it's an 8.
Alrighty then.
So, I guess I tried to jump over and missed my
Heading
step,
towards the campsite with, I'm going to type this as well. King Nomatal sat in there, the guy with the slightly red skin that you've been pointed towards.
Towel, yeah.
Nomatal.
The towel.
I should put an H in and say tall. Anyway, you spring back and go to make a leap, halfway through realise, oh, this is longer than I thought, and you feel a big hand quickly grab you and pull you back onto the bank on this side of the crevice, and it's one of the big Goliaths from the performance group, and he sort of says, whoa, I'd be careful doing that. Bit big. I mean, not to us, obviously. I can, would you like a lift over, milady?
That would be alright.
He kneels down so you can, clamber on his back.
I'll do that.
Alright, cool. You clamber onto his back, and with one very small sort of step, he sort of, goes, doo-doo, and jumps over it, and sort of spins around and kneels down again, sort of with his arm out, and says, milady.
Thank you for the help. It's very appreciated.
I wouldn't like to see a lady fall. It is not within our etiquette. And you did do a very good job in your performance earlier, I must say. I am going to sit by this fire and have a nice chill out. If you would like a lift back, please find me and I will be happy to assist you. Please do not fall into the endless pit of fire, my lady.
Thank you. It's good that some people appreciate my moves. Even with the setup.
That's what I was thinking as well.
No, don't turn them into neckbeards. That's not okay. Okay.
Training neckbeards, Arissa, how do you feel?
The fedoras are the first things to go.
And then the neckbeard.
Good thing I've probably got a razor in my backpack. I'm already making one.
It's okay, this Goliath is now my pet Goliath.
No, but there is
Two.
even if you don't have a razor.
Feddy. For Fedora. True.
He's my best friend.
I have Feddy.
Okay.
Oddly enough, I do. It's the one who's a foot taller than me. That kind of fits.
There are 13 of them, but for the sake of keeping this going at the moment, those are the 5 that you get to know the most, Arissa. At the moment. Okay. Pug and Enna, you search. He's a Mountain Dew. Oh my god, yeah. You guys see the dwarves are sort of mining, and you haven't managed to find anything else. Would you like to go and chill out with the Goliaths and Arissa, or would you like to do anything else this evening?
I'll go and hang out with the Goliaths.
I would like to check out these dwarves, see what they're digging for. They're digging in the ruins, they gotta be looking interesting.
Alrighty. Cool. Ariel, are you giving up your search for the evening and hanging out with Arissa and the Goliaths as well?
Well, since I didn't find anything in any of my searches, I might as well go and chill out because, well,
Okay.
I need them Z's.
They will
So yeah,
serve you
fire sessions.
they will serve you food as well, so you can all have something to eat and drink. And you can all take turns at booping Belgarath on the nose.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
pixie dust it into the air?
Sure you can. Belgarath, you awake from your slumber around 10 feet in the air, floating, as you roll over, expecting to find the edge of the blanket and find air.
Well, that's different.
And that's all, folks.
Anyone want to tell me what's going on here?
Well, you appear to be flying.
Okay, so I fell asleep. I was having a very nice dream. I wake up and I'm in the air. What's going on?
You meditated.
No, I was napping. Napping is not the same as meditation.
You gotta rise out of the dream.
No.
You were dreaming
You're
about
just
being excited.
Don't lie to yourself.
Okay. Pug, I'm going to come back to Cass in a second because I think this one will be quicker. Pug, you hurry over and you see the two dwarves mining meticulously. They are in a very big sort of trenchy hole right now. It looks like they've been meticulously... they've taken the ruins of the biggest building you can see and they are mining all around it. They've done like essentially 2 or 3 rooms of it. It looks like they're now almost excavating a 3rd, 4th room.
Okay. And they're excavating the rooms. Okay. I'm gonna walk up to them and say, "Oi, what are you guys doing?"
The shorter one with a big, long, dark beard looks over at you still shoveling and goes, "What's it to you?"
They look dark.
He's got dark beard and hair, but his skin is quite normal.
Okay. I'm gonna say... Well, I'm just wondering what you're searching for. I'm searching for a few things too. I'm wondering if I can help you guys out, and we split the tyke. And I'm gonna try to roll. Let me roll some
Persuasion.
Am I still in the air at some point? You seem to have just drifted away from that fact.
Until Ariel lets you down, yeah. Unless you want to force him to, or you could fly back down.
I'll let him back down now. Like, just drop the floating effect entirely.
Okay, Balgarath, roll me a dexterity or a strength to land.
Probably going to go with strength as I actually have a modifier in that.
Woohoo!
Not that it did me a damn bit of bloody good.
Uh-oh. Okay. You land with one leg on the hammock and the rest of you smacks bang onto the floor and you take 3 points of slamming damage.
3 points of slamming damage.
I'm calling it slamming damage because that is what you did.
Fair enough. So is that like temporary damage or what's...
It's there. It's there until the next time you go to sleep.
Right.
All right. Do you want to do anything now that you've landed?
Stand up and say, just what the bloody hell's going on here?
It might be the magic of like the big hole here or something.
What?
Well, I tried to sense if there was magic here, and those holes are basically entire. So they might have an effect on those who are not wary to it, because I haven't seen anyone who was walking fly up, who was awake fly up. So
I'm so confused as to just what the hell's going on.
well, you were flying, and now you aren't. So I think it might be.
I can see that. My question is, why was I flying in the first place?
Well, magical holes might have a magical effect on thing.
Ariel, roll a deception.
I was assuming that would show up at some point.
Belgarath, roll an insight. Balgarath, roll an insight.
Yeah, I think I've been deceived.
He seems slightly concerned for you, like, The big crevices in the floor seem magical, like they might be making things happen and stuff. He seems genuinely concerned for you.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, what's going on? I'm confused as to what's going on now.
Ariel just levitates.
I convinced you that I wasn't levitating you while I was.
For the lols.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, screw it. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm just going to leave where I've been sleeping and just go for a wander.
Okay. You notice that there's a very, very, very large crack running down essentially the centre of what used to be this city, and it's a good 6 feet across. If you look down it, there's flames far below you, miles down, and you probably realise, I'm going to walk around on this side of the campsite. You can see Kess on the other side with one of the Goliaths who was in the performance group with you, and he looks like he's sat waiting for her while she talks to some people. You can see Pug chatting to some dwarves who are in the middle of mining, and the rest of your group are by the campsite that you just left, so you can have a wander, okay? Did you want to wander looking for anything in particular or towards anyone in particular, or just wander for now?
No, I'm just going to wander for now.
Okay. In which case, Pug, I'll jump back to you. So you were rolling perception for the... No, you were rolling persuasion for the dwarf. Good luck. Persuading a dwarf to split money.
Yes.
He just now noticed the error in his ways.
Well, it might work. I have 21.
Ooh. Ooh, okay. Well, the dwarf got a 20 total. So he, looks at you and sort of scowls under his eyebrows and goes, grab a shovel.
Alright then, and I grab the shovel, vigorously start digging.
Okay. Pug.
And athletics to keep digging?
Yes.
Oh, that's not good at all. 9.
Okay. Roll me investigation as you're going as well.
Investigation, that's 9.
Okay. You dig for well into the night, for another hour or so. You don't come across anything. The dwarves sort of look at the time and state to each other they're going to go and have their dinner. And they say to you, can come back in the morning. You want to carry on?
Yeah, I'll keep going for another minute or so.
They look at you suspiciously and they go and sit, and their campsite is actually right smack bang next to this ruin, and they look at you and watch you the entire time they're cooking their dinner and sitting there eating it. They are watching you like hawks to make sure you find nothing and you don't pocket anything.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I'll keep going for a little while longer.
Okay.
Half an hour longer, see if I find anything.
Okay. From what you can tell of this building and this place, you can tell that this would have been where, essentially, you can tell this is potentially where the royal family would have stayed. It's one of the only buildings that looks like it was built to be lived in, purpose-built, and it looks as if it had more than one floor. It wasn't very fancy, it was made of sort of stone and things, and from the way they've been digging, they have been searching for things. You find nothing else tonight. Yeah. You find nothing else tonight, but you can come back in the morning. You can carry on. You've got an open invitation to come back with the dwarves and keep having a dig, having a go.
Okay, how late is it right now? Is it too late that the shops are still closing, or were there any shops to begin with?
Market. You need to wait for market.
There weren't any shops. You could see as you were looking around, there were people making things and people who seemed to be bartering amongst themselves. There were no like particular like a row of traders, as it were, but it looked like there were tradesmen and people with different skills and even people making food and things. So you could probably wander around and ask and see, but there was no specific go here for bread, go here for weapons kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Does any of them look vaguely magical? Like they might be making a magic item or something?
You can see some people with magic. You can see someone who looks like they're enchanting what looks like a Goliath brought them their great axe, and it looks like they're trying to enchant it, so they're trying to do something to it. So you can't see any enchanted or magical weapons at the moment, but that's the closest you've got. You've got like someone you can see casting magic on an item.
Can I walk up to him?
Yeah, sure.
So he's just a dude. He's like, what race is he? And what?
He would be a tiefling.
Tiefling. Okay. So I'm gonna walk up to him and say, "Oi, I saw you casting magic on. I don't know. You're very handy with enchantments, yeah."
I can be.
I was wondering if you might be able to make me a...
Say that again. You cut out for a second then.
It was make me a something.
Yeah.
Maybe a weapon or whatever.
Sandwich.
Make me a magical sandwich.
Make me a happy person.
Make me happy, please.
For that, I think you want your Belgarath.
Shit.
I do not consent to this.
Do you need to consent to fan fiction?
Fan up. For the right price, perhaps. For the right price, perhaps. What is it you are after?
I was not thinking about the weapon there.
I want some kind of brass knuckles.
And you want them to be magical?
Yeah. Some real weight behind the punches.
Well, for something like that, it would take me a while to complete. Quite complicated magic. Have you got gold?
I've got plenty of gold, don't you worry about that.
And how much gold would you be offering me to make this for you?
Let me... I'm going to...
I was going to say, bear in mind that brass knuckles just on their own would cost you somewhere around 5 to 10 silver.
Right, okay, so I'm going to say about 10 gold. 10 gold will be more than sufficient for, a minor magical enchantment, and I'm going to use deception. Let them talk up how easy it would be, and, use my deception on them. Try that.
Alright.
I got a 25 on deception.
Okay. I see. And you wish to offer me 10 gold for this?
Oh.
For 10 gold, you'll have to give me at least a week to create such an item. I assume you're happy to wait?
A week, you said?
Yep. He's only playing ball a little bit.
You can't get it done any faster. I'm busy now, you see.
As am I. For 10 gold, it will take a week, maybe longer. I could speed the process up for you should the payment increase in value.
Um, 15 gold and get it done in 3 days.
You have yourself a deal.
Alright. I pass him 15 gold.
Okay, 15 gold, 3 days.
This guy's gonna walk out, watch.
Knuckle dusters and magic. Okay. Okay.
Oh, there's a necklace here too. I forgot about that necklace.
There's a necklace.
Yeah, there's a necklace somewhere over here that I'm gonna find one day.
Ah, yes.
Uh,
That necklace.
Oh yeah, necklace of the region or something.
The necklace of
Mocking, that's it.
Hmm?
That necklace of mocking.
Yes, the
I might
necklace.
find it someday soon. With that, I think I'm gonna be done with my adventures for today.
Okay, so you're gonna head towards the campsite with the rest of them.
Yeah. See if I can stay and see what we're doing for 3 days.
In which case, Kess, over to you.
Yeah, I'm still out.
You
And I have a plan.
You have seen the
Yeah.
group. You have seen the. He looks human. He's very tall. He's about 6'2". He is sitting down around a campfire.
But isn't like demon blood and human blood together? Isn't it just tiefling, basically?
No, he does not look tieflingy.
Okay.
As you get closer to him, you can see he does have horns, but they're different to a tiefling's horns. They're like almost barbed, but not spiky. And he's got a red tint to his skin. And you being you feel he has an aura of power about him, but right now he looks around 45, but that's in human years, so to all intents and purposes he could be 80. He has greying flecks in his dark red hair, and at the moment he is resting a hand upon his face and staring into the fire, saying nothing. He looks defeated, to be honest. He is surrounded by people who they seem to know not to speak to him and not to try and engage him in anything. Someone passes him a pot of some sort of food, which he holds and ignores for a long time, and they carry on talking amongst themselves.
Okay. So I want to walk up to him and greet him respectfully and saying, King Nontal, it's a pleasure to meet you. I believe I have some information you would like to hear. Can we speak in private?
He seems to take a long time to register that you're speaking to him. And slowly his eyes move from the fire and up to your face. And are you in your form, or are you still a tiefling right now?
I'm still a tiefling.
Okay. And he says, whatever you have to tell me, I don't think I really need to know anything else anymore.
It's about your daughter.
Do you know how many people come to me every day saying they believe they have information on where my daughter is? Even my son. It's been 5 years and they still say, oh, I think I've seen your son. Ha ha, very funny.
So what if I told you that there was a way to find them?
I have tried every trick in every book. By all means, tell me your cunning plan to get my family restored to me.
Well, all you need to use is just a powerful artifact. The beings that attacked this place before, they ripped apart the fabric of the multiverse, didn't they? And they were dark shadows that could destroy everything. I've seen them recently, and I know what they are after. They are after a particular sword that I know the location of.
Oh, snap!
I'm sure. Rosie, don't mess up my RP. It's not fair.
Killing immersion there. That was just not good.
That was not expected at this point. Carry on. Damn.
I'm evil. What are you expecting?
Oh yeah. And you mean to tell me that somehow this item will get me my family back?
Exactly, because they want to get this sword. Whoever holds it is going to be able to summon them and going to be able to find your children as well. Because the last time I saw them, they appeared to get this sword. It's a very dangerous sword that should otherwise be destroyed, but I think it should be in your hands. I know the person who currently holds it. So if you took it away, I'm sure you could find your family again. Do I roll deception now?
Are you being deceitful? Because I think you should.
Yeah.
Just gonna pile on all the layers of deception and then roll right at the end, make myself a big deception pancake.
Well, you have to add my RP onto it. Okay.
Roll with advantage.
Okay. Ooh. So that's 20.
Okay. Alright, this poor, defeated, saddened, filled with regret and loss man looks to you and has the tiniest glimmer of hope in his eyes.
Wow, Tess is an actual horrible person.
This.
Like, I knew she was, like, not that fussed on people's feelings, but Jesus, I feel like her alignment needs to be changed, because that is, like, an evil act.
But my alignment is evil.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that.
How?
The funniest thing is, she's not the only evil member of this party, and you don't know that.
I know that's evil.
So do I. DM privileges.
I feel like I should just leave. I'm just gonna go on my merry way.
You don't know this is happening. Okay.
Well,
Okay, yeah.
I must admit, this is a new one on me. I admit freely, I do not believe anyone anymore. But if there is even the slightest chance this could work, I will adhere to it. tell me, where is this sword?
The person who holds it, they are a half-elf. And they have a moustache, and they are rather aggressive, so be careful and send enough people to subdue them. They just arrived recently in Rogue, but I've seen it with my own eyes. These creatures appeared to take that sword. It would be very important in fighting your children.
You tell me the bearer of this sword is in this encampment as we speak.
Yes, they just arrived.
Ascendon. And he is calling to a man who is next to him by the fire, who looks up in some surprise and says, my lord, and leans in to listen to him. And you hear him say quietly, he gives a description of this person you've described. He turns back to you and he said, and he says, you will forgive my reluctance to believe you, but I have had 5 years of nothing but disappointment. Ascendon shall locate this gentleman. If you wish to assist him, you may. And he sort of nods to you.
Yeah.
He sort of nods to you and goes back to the fire and doesn't really say anything else. Ascendon is a half-elf human. Not half-elf human, as in he's more human-looking. He's more human-looking than Nomatal, but he is a half-elf, you can tell. And he stands up and goes to you and he says, is there a name for this man with the sword?
Yes. The name is Puck.
Oh god.
It was going to happen. That's all needs to go.
Hashtag that's all needs to go.
Yeah.
Betrayer over here. Wow.
No, I'm just following my own agenda. I'm not betraying anyone. It's not like I'm friends with you. Like,
Yeah, not anymore.
He says, alright. In the morning.
what's wrong with everyone? Like, I'm doing what's best for my character, and I'm playing. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
says,
but it's also then best for my character to act less interesting towards you.
You guys don't know what's happening, so I don't even look like myself.
yeah, you guys are out.
Yeah.
I look like a tiefling right now.
I think I'm still sitting by the fire. But
Yes, yeah. And Cass does
Yeah,
look
but
like a
literally no idea
tiefling.
this is going on.
Cass does
Yeah, I
look
look
like a
like a
tiefling, it's very true. I put in capital letters as a tiefling. Ascendant says, I do not wish to leave my lord's side tonight. In the morning at daybreak, I shall move through the encampment and seek out this individual. Should you wish to assist me, I shall be starting from here in the morning. I bid you good night.
Right, I'll see you in the morning.
Okay. In the morning, look for Pug. Alright. Cass.
I'd just like to say I haven't gotten to do anything for a while.
Yes, you're still wondering, don't worry. Cass, are you going to head back to the others?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, cool. Alright, so you head back and you get a lift back from Fedi. He gives you a lift back across and sets you down next to the campfire. Are you going to remain a tiefling, or are you going to drop that form?
For the night, I will be cast with the party and sleep. Yes,
Okay. In which case, Belgarath, you are the only person left not at the campsite. So, are you just wandering in general, or do you want to look for something specific or anything catch your eye?
Well, I wasn't looking. I was never looking for anything in particular, so I was just wandering around seeing if I could find anything, and if I don't find anything, I guess I'll...
Give me a perception check.
Sorry? What was that?
That was Belgarath. Can he please roll me a perception?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
15 perception.
Okay. Belgarath. You still have this bubbling feeling of anger down in the pit of your stomach. You have managed to shift it a little bit. It's passing, but it's just still there in you, and it's that feeling that sometimes crashes over you if you've had a particularly bad dream about, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say things that you've done, and leave it at that.
Right, so.
But you're having, it's one of those days, and you've had these before, and it's almost more infuriating to you because this is a familiar feeling, and you're still feeling kind of annoyed, like someone gets up suddenly and walks past you without really noticing you in the dark and sort of nearly catches your shoulder, and that you feel yourself wanting to fight the guy, but you resist the urge because you know it was an accident. You find yourself rationalizing with yourself, sort of going, no, it's fine. And you hate that you have to talk yourself down from feeling like this, and you know who you blame for feeling like this. And as you're feeling all of that and thinking about your family and everything that's happened, you spot, like, in the corner of your gaze, just as you're walking around, like, you're not really looking anywhere in particular, you see a pair of bright blue eyes, and you almost blink and they're gone, and you can see there's people chattering. It's almost as if the head has turned away from you now, but you recognise those eyes.
Okay. That, I wasn't expecting that.
I know. I'm the DM. I was expecting it.
Well, dear. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna go over to where I saw the eyes and investigate.
Okay. Roll me a... I'm going to say do perception again because it's not quite investigation at this point. So roll me another perception so you can see if you can catch sight of them again.
Oh, damn, natural 20.
Oh, dang! Okay. You look around and you stand stock still, and you can feel a churning in your gut and like this anger again. And you manage to spot them again. Again, it's getting quite dark now. You can just see campfires and things in the shape of people. And you see someone turns their head speaking to someone, and you see the eyes. And then they look in another direction again if you lost them, but you can see the back of someone's head now in the dark, and you thunder towards them. Well, are you going to sneak, stealth, or are you going to plow on through?
No, sorry, every time I push the button it starts putting the letter that I'm pressing to speak into the text box, and it's getting really long. Anyway, so...
You can click off it.
Yeah, I know, but I keep forgetting to click off it, that's my point.
Okay, never mind.
Anyway, so, given my mood, I'm thinking I'm probably not going to be in the mood to be stealthy, so I'm just going to barrel over to whoever this person is, grab them and basically try and lay them out on their back.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay, you barrel on through and you actually very nearly trample one group's campfire as you're walking. So, hey! And they sort of like, you shove people sort of out of your way. And you reach a small group of people. They're all sort of human-shaped. Again, it's freaking dark and there's campfires and stuff. And you reach the person and you spot them. And you've seen the back of their head. And they've got sort of like long tousled hair, and you grab a hold of their shoulder and pull them around to face you. And as the big blue eyes, intense and bright, stare up at you, you are looking at... Where's my thing gone? Hold that thought!
God damn it!
Sorry, I want to make sure I've got the correct... Okay, yep. You are looking at a fairly young woman. And
Okay.
would you like to roll your attack to smack her out on her back?
Well, I didn't say smack her out and back. I said drag her around and try and like throw her down just so I can put them on the back foot.
Okay, well, in which case, roll me a strength check to, like, throw her down.
18.
Ooh, alright. Yep, okay, you've taken her completely by surprise. She is thrown flat on her back and sent skittering across the floor. She slams into a pile of, like, old pots and boots and bags and things, and sits up shaking her head and sort of tries to look at you, and it's very dark, but you can see through the campfire. She is human, female, looks around 19, maybe 20. Sort of fair hair. And she's sort of looking up at you from her elbows, and she, like, leaps up onto her feet and stands in front of you and goes, "What the hell do you think you're fucking doing?"
Trying to think how to respond to this. I guess I'll start by popping it. Sorry?
I said they all heard it.
One more time, your mic keeps cutting out, I can't hear what you're saying. When did I complain I hadn't done anything?
Like, just before this happened.
Alright.
I was just...
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Belgrath himself there. I don't remember him complaining that he hadn't done anything, but alright. Yeah, just... Okay, well, I'm going to start by popping a fireball in my hand. Not to throw it or anything, but just as a...
Threatening.
Shut up. Just as a shut up, I'm talking now sort of thing.
Okay, Cass approves.
That's probably concerning.
Nice. Yeah.
I'll probably start with the basic. You shut up. You shut up right just now. I'm asking the questions here and now. Who the hell are you?
I don't think I need to tell you anything. You just attacked me. If anything, I should be asking the questions. And she pulls like a small dagger out of her, I was about to say pouch, I mean belt.
You want to know who I am? Fine. My name is Belgrath, the son of none. Son of a woman who was whored by a human man, who I then had the very great pleasure of ripping eyes very much like yours out of his skull and then killing. So, that's who I am. Who are you, lass?
Oh, alright. Yep. Okay. She says to you, Belgarath, and takes a step closer to you and like looks you, like proper looks at you in the firelight and says, "You killed my father. And I'm not going to say prepare to die because that would be so cliche right now. But she is she's going to make an attack at you though. And she
Do I not get to respond to that?
You can do, but she's going to say, she's like pissed and she's going to take a swing at you.
Okay, well, in that case, before she takes a swing at me then, I'll just say, your father was a rapist and a murderer and a son of a bastard, and it was my pleasure to kill him.
Oh, he's so angry. Okay, she is taking a swing at you and she has rolled plus a... So she's on a 18 to hit.
What am I rolling?
No, it's your AC. She's rolled an 18 to hit.
My AC is 13.
In which case she's hit you. And it's a small dagger though, and you feel she's angry and frustrated, but you also feel like she's confused as hell, so she's pulling her bow a little bit because she's going to swing at you as you're saying all of this. So it's only going to do you 5 points of piercing damage, and she sort of aimed for your shoulder. It looked like she was aiming for the neck, but she sort of changed course halfway through. So you do take a dagger into your shoulder, but it's not as hard as it could have been. You still take 5 points of piercing damage, and it fucking hurts. But there is that.
Yeah. So what does piercing damage do? How is that different from regular damage? So
it probably doesn't matter too much. You don't have resistance to it.
It's just a description, basically, unless you're wearing armor that stops you from, taking piercing damage or whatever.
Yeah. I think certain things can give you resistance to certain types of damage.
Yeah, I do. I've got a cantrip that does give me resistance to piercing damage.
Oh, okay.
That's a shame.
But have you cast it beforehand?
No, but that's what I mean. I could probably cast it so it doesn't happen again, but,
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing that, essentially... essentially, it's, the damage, essentially. But, yeah. So, 5, and she pulls it out again, and she sort of stood there, like, looking at you. Still with the dagger raised, but she's sort of, like, almost... listening to you but not wanting to, but at the same time, like looking at a card pack, you can't not.
So much sibling love.
Okay, well, that hurts. Have you got that out of your system?
Hopefully, the Blunders wedding is going to be so interesting.
Oh, the weddings, it's going to be amazing. And she says...
I don't know if we're going to invite her, though.
This is going to plan it. You have no choice in anything that happens.
I think we just got a ring as a new best friend.
Okay, guys. As long as you don't survive until the wedding, you'll be fine. I can help with that.
Okay. She says, got it out of my system. Years it has been. I have been looking for the person who killed my father and ruined my family, and you ask if with one stab it's out of my system?
Well, don't take it too personally, lass. He was my father too.
It's all very personal.
My sister does not have an accent.
Because his father was...
I got my accent from my mother, actually, Pug. I never met my father until the day I killed him.
You did not know him like I knew him. He was the most wonderful father. He took care of me and my mother. He was there until one day he wasn't.
Take a look at my eyes, lass. Where do you think they came from? They're very similar to yours, very similar to our fathers, in fact. And I can tell you for a fact that the man who gave me these eyes raped my mother and then left us for dead. So, loving father, I am tempted to disagree with you there.
She is like listening to what you're saying and can't quite take it all in, and she's sort of shaking her head. And can you roll me a persuasion, but with advantage, because you are telling your version of the truth, if that makes sense.
Righto.
she is uncomfortable. She's listening to you, and she can tell that you are telling her what you believe is the truth. And obviously this isn't sitting well, and she doesn't understand, but she cannot deny the eyes. And she sort of keeps looking at them and then looking away, and she's shaking her head, and she's just saying, no, it can't. And
It can't, can it? You know what my mother thought of me because I had my father's eyes? She hated me. She couldn't stand the sight of me because my eyes reminded her so much of the man who took everything she had.
well, I am sorry. That man is not the man I knew. The man I grew up with. The man who taught me how to swim, how to fish, how to hunt, how to be myself. I do not know your life, and I am sorry. But I have grown up with a wonderful man who was taken from me, and I have thought of nothing else ever since.
Well, I'm sorry that I took that man from you. But when I met him, he was just the man who raped my mother and left her with a child that she couldn't stand the sight of. So I hope you can understand why I probably felt a little bit differently about him.
Could we sit? Perhaps? Talk? Maybe?
Of course. I have a herbalism kit, so if you don't mind, I'll just tend to myself while we do that.
She leads you to the very edge of the seating around the campsite, the little campfire that she was sitting at, very far away from the other people who sort of look at her. It looks as if she was just talking with them. They didn't seem to be her friends. Like, none of them jumped up to defend her, kind of thing. And she sort of gives them a wave, as if to say, none of your business, fuck off, kind of thing. And she sits with you. Now, in the interests of it's getting quite late and people have to go to work, I'm going to wrap up the session by saying that Belgarath, you are going to sit with her and talk for a while into the evening. And the rest of you are going to sleep back at the other campsite. And you're in the vicinity of the main plotline now. You haven't hit it yet, but you're in the vicinity. That's very cool.
We get sidetracked again.
Yes, you're getting sidetracked by all these stupid things you would just want to do. God damn it. It's okay. So I will...
Players having
Sense for the character.
I will dish out some XP for you and things, but I think we'll just say a quick goodbye to the recording first, and then I'll dish out your XP after, because there's nothing people on the internet like more than listening to XP. Woohoo!
Everyone loves XP.
So,
The important thing, is it enough to level up? That's the question in everyone's mind.
no comment. So
that's sort of we take it away anyway. It's too late.
So if everyone would like to say Tatty Bear to the recording, and okay, and